right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round number 3 of the 100% Cup Series playoff race. My name is Carlos Acosta, and joining me is the man with the 2 first names, Michael David. Michael, how are you doing today?
Let me beat myself there. Hey, Carlos, I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite all right. The real life Cup Series may currently be racing at Bristol right now, but the real excitement here is on the eliminator race for the round of 16. Excuse me, for the round of 16 in this virtual 100% Cup Series league, where it's pretty much the same thing as NASCAR, and at this point running at the same time as NASCAR. But we've had a couple exciting first 2 races, and we've already had a couple drivers already locked into this round of 12 coming up. Bryson Hickenbottom and RJ Root each have won on the first 2 races and locked themselves in. But the real problem is the 4 drivers getting eliminated. We don't know who they are because they got to run the race first. Right now, coming into this race, Demarius Hickenbottom at 16th, Kevin Steele at 15th, Robert Anderson at 14th, and actually tied for 12th, but losing the tiebreaker is Dustin Hall. And those would be the 4 drivers getting eliminated here tonight. But Michael, based on what you've seen so far, do you think any of these drivers currently out might be able to sneak their way in?
Yeah, I think Demarius Hickenbottom definitely ran into some bad luck last week. I'm looking to see him kind of advance up the ranks this week, see if he can get a better showing here. I'm not too sure because it is so close towards the bottom that we know for sure those 4 that are getting eliminated tonight, but unfortunately we are going to lose 4 people from the chase tonight here in Bristol.
That's true. And while I wasn't quite able to get it working for our tower, the ticker that's currently up on top will have all the playoff drivers in their normal red, but the 2 drivers that are locked in will have a little green rectangle towards the end of the color, and the 4 drivers who are currently locked out, or currently out, have a yellow rectangle towards the end, as you can see there with Hall and Hickenbottom. But we got 15 seconds left, or now, let's say 10 seconds left in practice. The drivers have already qualified. We'll be going over the qualifying results here very shortly, but I gotta say I'm very excited. Quick notes, 10 tires for tonight's race, including the one they start on. So when they go down pit road, they'll have 9 sets of tires they can pretty much choose from. Not only that, but the stages are going to be broken up in 125 laps for stage 1, and then stage 2 will be another 125 laps to end it at lap 250, and then that's half of the race, 500 laps. It's not 500 miles, but it is 500 laps. So the rest of the race is pretty much a half-distance race, and I gotta say I ran a half-distance race here with these guys in the D2 one. It was pretty fun. Can't complain. And well, let's see if we can go over through here the grid results. Let's play the grid music. I almost blasted your ears off because I had it accidentally so high, but let's play that music right now. And Bryson Hickenbottom got your pole here tonight with Jonathan Delaney in second. Third place is going to be Matt Long with Alex Van de Sun starting tonight's race in 4th. Lucas Hoytsmith will be finishing tonight, or I should say, will be starting tonight's race in 5th with Ralph A. Hutchinson in 6th. 7th is going to be Dustin Hall, Blake Giglio in 8th. And the last of the row number 5 is going to be Alex Murray and Adam Benefield.
Coming in for 11, we got Jason Taylor. 12th is going to be Devin Medeiros. Go ahead and bring these up a little further. All right, 13th we got Matt DeCiani. 14th we have Robert W. Anderson. 15th we have Cameron Stone. 16th is Sean O'Brien Jr. Derek Heitman in 17th. Randy Drumhiller at 18th. Nolan Hodgson in 19th. Kyle Amon in 20th. Wayne Grassy in 21st. Chad Sander in 22nd. Tanner Marty in 23rd. Taylor Stout in 24th. Go down to the bottom of the list here and finish off our standings or starting order here. So Tanner Stout was in 24th. We got Dalton Mobley in 25th. Brandon Pierce in 26th. Demarius Hickenbottom 27th. Kevin Steele in 28th. And then the final 2 are taking provisionals. We have Raymond Root, RJ Root, who's already in, and Preston McRae also taking a provisional starting from the back of the field. So tonight should be a very exciting race. Bristol, Tennessee, they call it the last great Coliseum, but I believe that was before the LA Coliseum had a race. They call it the most popular race in NASCAR, but Daytona might have a word with you on that one. They do call it the loudest race in NASCAR.
Yeah, the last great
Coliseum.
Coliseum.
Okay, the last great Coliseum.
Currently, well, it doesn't currently have, or I should say not the LA Coliseum, not the last great Coliseum. The LA Coliseum doesn't currently have a track right now. We're gonna build it again before the Clash next year, but right now there is no LA Coliseum racetrack.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But they do say this is the loudest track. So let's go ahead and go for it.
Pace cars off, green flags out as Bryson Hicksonball leads, but Jonathan Delaney gets a good run on the outside and might possibly... Nope, he's still side by side against the 63. Is very interesting to see. I know on the outside line it's going to be very popular here. The whole rest of the race as well. We got an incident in the backstretch. Couple drivers involved, including the 59. Tanner Marty, Chad Sander, and I'm seeing Preston McRae.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that, get a replay here momentarily. I didn't exactly catch to see what happened there, but we are under caution already 2 laps in. We get a replay here.
The 59 got loose in the middle of the corner. I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience last night in the D2 race, because I have a feeling that I understand what some of these drivers might be going through here.
Yeah, I ran a couple laps earlier today here at Bristol, and I kept getting loose out of turn 3 and 4. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. I know the top line is the preferred racing line here, as we see the 59 car definitely got loose coming through 3 and 4 there, and just nobody had any place to go. Collecting 1, 2,
just a little kiss for Preston McRae there. So probably no issues there. Another reason he popped up on my information here is because he slowed down to pretty much a crawl. But yeah, one of the things I did hopping into that D2 race was I got a setup off of a Discord server that had them out there, and I could barely do anything because it was so loose in the middle of the corners. I was being told to kind of like ride up high and then use just the way that setup has been set up to kind of like hit the gas like as soon as I get through the apex and let the car just naturally rotate, which I was too afraid to do because I am not that skilled of a race car driver. So it took me a long time for me to figure that out, but that was still leaps above the default setup that was provided by iRacing, because after 20 laps you pretty much went like 2+ second laps down, slower every single lap. So the way these drivers have to attack the corner, which is what you said, gets them naturally loose throughout the middle and exit of the corner. And while I would have expected to see more of the incident kind of happening towards the end of the corner, I wasn't fully surprised that it was in the middle.
Yeah, a lot of that might have to do with it being on the first and second lap there. They're probably still dealing with some cold tires. They're at the back of the pack. Maybe they weren't able to, warm their tires up to temperature fast enough, and it could just be nerves, We're expecting a few of these cautions to happen. It is Bristol. It is tight, close, in-your-face racing at high speed, so... these things are going to happen here. But, yeah, like you said, definitely getting loose through the middle of the corner towards the end of the corner. We're going to see quite a bit of that tonight. Now, unfortunately, I was using that standard default setup, and I was having a heck of a time getting out of the corners. I felt like I had good speed here. As we see, the pace truck is coming down the lane, and we're going to have Delaney take us to the green flag here, waiting to the last second, and it looks like Hicksonball might have had a little bit of a jump there.
Remember, they are using the brand new restart zone set up here on the league. So if the 6 of Delaney took a long time to get on the gas and actually start this the second run, then iRacing was like, all right, green flag's out. Doesn't matter who crosses the line first. So if that's the case, and the 63 is okay, and it looks like 63 might just be okay. He's not getting any penalties. It doesn't look like he's slowing down for anything. So that was maybe a little bit too slow for Jonathan Delaney, but great awareness for the 63 of Bryson Hicksonball, who has retook the lead. Well, actually, he never got the lead to begin with, but he has taken the lead for the first time, and it's pretty much a swap of what we saw in the first start of but the first initial start of the race, where Bryson qualified on pole, and then Delaney just zoomed right on by on the outside.
Yeah, we see now they're starting to get a little stretched out here. Everybody's kind of falling into file here. Like I said earlier, the higher line is the line that most people like to run through the corners. We see everybody's kind of sticking low though, kind of making me wrong there. But generally, if you go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. I was gonna say, you did mention that the higher line you thought would have been the more dominant line, and that's what I thought so too. And same thing with the setup builder, because they kept on talking about how to use the outside line. But the thing is, on the race I ran yesterday here with some of these guys in the D2 series, everybody for the majority of the run was running that inside line, and it got to the point where people didn't want to touch that outside line. And it was kind of checking them up, kind of like you see in Daytona and Talladega, where a line just gets checked up because there's too many drivers in there, and then momentum goes to a different line. So the first driver to kind of realize this and dump up to the outside line early on when there's a huge checkup, they'll get a bunch of spots. And that's what I did towards the middle of the race, where I was like 9th or 10th, and the inside line was just getting checked out. I was like, let me just dump it up high, and then just kind of run the race there. And I managed to pass my way all the way up into second until I messed up and hit the outside wall and pretty much killed my car. But you gotta be careful with these things.
Here at Bristol.
And actually, you wanna know, it wasn't because I was running the outside line that I killed my car. Once I got myself clear into second place, I was like, all right, let me do what everybody else is doing, and jumped onto the inside. And then at one point, I just misjudged the corner, and I just went straight up into the outside wall.
Yeah, you got to be careful. The banking here, 26 to 30 degrees in the corners, 6 to 10 degrees in the straights. Yeah, it'll jump up and bite you if you're not paying attention. I want to jump out to the chat real quick. We got Roy and Becky Travels. Go 53.
Roy and Becky Travels is a common fan here, rooting on for 53 of Preston McRae. It's always nice to see fans coming in here cheering for their favorite drivers.
Yeah, that's always nice to see as we follow along here. And I am going to go ahead and jump up front here. We see we have Hoytsma has moved up into 3rd place now. He is up 2 spots, started in 5th place. We see Dustin Hall is also up 5 spots. That's good for Dustin. Dustin is on that edge, right on the cut there, of being in the round of 12 or not. See if we can...
Well, since you mentioned it, let's actually talk about who's good and who's not. We mentioned the 4 drivers are currently out. I apologize, I did not mention how many points that they were currently out. But starting with Damaris Hickenbottom, as that's pretty close there. He's currently 31 points out. So Damaris pretty much needs a win to get to stay in the playoffs. He needs a win to advance. So unless he wins, he's more likely going to be eliminated. Kevin Steele realistically needs a win as well. He is currently minus 17 behind the cutoff. So there's a decent to small chance that he could get in based on performing well here tonight and having a couple drivers not performing well. But realistically, he will need a win to advance. Robert Anderson, 9 points behind with some good playoff racing, so I should say some good stage racing and a good finish. He could necessarily get to the next stage without having to get a win. Dustin Hall, we mentioned, he was tied with Ralph Hutchinson. So they're both currently 0 points on the cutoffs. Ralph Hutchinson currently in based on the tiebreaker. Devin Medeiros is currently 1 spot ahead. Sean O'Brien Jr. 6 spots ahead. And that's kind of it for the drivers kind of in the playoff bubble. Lucas Hoytsma in 9th place is currently 21 spots ahead of the cutoff. Cameron Stone 24, Matthew Long 37, Blake Giglio 44, and Adam Benefield 48. Same thing with John Delaney in 48. Alex Murray, who is currently the first driver not locked in 3rd, is ahead by 50.
Yeah, as we see here, we're riding along with Hoytsma. He made a move to the outside, got around John Delaney, and we see Delaney is now fighting with Van der Zandt right behind. But yeah, he made a great move to go around the outside, get past Delaney up into 2nd place. He's probably looking for a solid run here in the very first the very first stint here, and hopefully he's going to secure himself. Like you said, he's 21 points up, so he doesn't have as much to worry about as some of the others do. And no, Devin Medeiros, he was able to qualify for the chase by winning the very last regular season race. So even though he hasn't been performing super great here in the first 2 races, he does have a chance to move up there. But even if he doesn't move on tonight, he's still, great job to just kind of squeeze himself in there right at the very end with a really important win. Great season for Devin. We got Robert Stone in the chat as well. To the left and the left Stone, bring it home. Preston is my son, go get him. From Roy and Becky. So Preston's parents out there.
Jonathan Delaney, I've noticed he's been dropping back. Same thing with Matt Stone. He's already lost a couple spots here early on. It's entirely possible that based on the setup that both of these drivers have, it could be one that's kind of leaning more towards the end of a long run than compared to the beginning. But just interesting to note that they have been dropping back quite decently so far. But you said you ran a couple races at Bristol here with the regular setup, with the standard iRacing setup. Just how bad was it, or I should say, how hard was it to kind of like get the car to rotate once you're like 30 plus laps into it?
But yeah, I was able to do. I wasn't able to do a bunch of races. I only did some laps here under practice session scenarios. But yeah, it was pretty. The degradation for me was pretty bad. Getting to about lap 20, lap 25, the tires really just started going off. You really started losing time. Like you were saying earlier, about a second and a half to 2 seconds a lap, really quickly. As soon as those tires start to fall off, you just kind of sit and duck there. I can't imagine what it'd be like in an actual racing scenario with these guys, who everybody's so cutthroat and everybody's so talented, and I'm just not. So that's why I'm here in the booth. But
I know.
it was a struggle, that's for sure. I'm trying to learn more about setups, so I'm trying to wean myself off of default setups and start working on like building my own setups. It's a learning curve for me, but I'm trying to figure all that out, and just to get since I'm new to Bristol, I just wanted to throw some laps out there just to get a feel for the track, and that's why I chose the default setup, and it definitely did not survive. It would be very frustrating to try to make that last for 500 laps tonight. That's for sure.
And it's a good thing that, well, at least I'm hoping that none of these drivers are running the default setup here for 500 laps, because I will say it was very stable, especially in the early run. It was very hard to kind of spin out of control unless you're specifically trying to do that. But it did mean a much slower run towards the end of that tires, and then you kind of have to figure out, do I want to be fast, or do I want to be comfortable? And I'm assuming a lot of these drivers, they've had far more practice than I had, far more tinkering with their setups. Some of these, they make their own setups, or they purchase them, or they get them from a team, and they're able to kind of customize that to their driving style. So it's probably an easier question for them, but just how much of a variance there are between a lot of these setups, that's something we'll only be able to tell once we're, let's say, 80 laps into this run. I believe Hoytsma won the D2 race here last night, and if it was him, then he ran like over 100, I think 108 laps from the last caution to the end of the race, wow. And he did so without a problem. And what he had to do was that some of the drivers, I think 2 drivers, including him, did not come down pit road on that final 108 lap stint, and nobody else got close to getting back their position. It worked out for me to go down pit road and split my tires, but some people tried to make it to the end, and they ended up finishing a couple laps down to where some of the drivers that did go down pit road ended up finishing. So for him, whatever Hoytsma did, if it was Hoytsma, I believe, then he has a lockdown here for tonight, and he could be a long run king if he avoids getting loose like that.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice little slide there. He was able to hold on to it as he goes around the 77, which is a lap car. Here in the chat, we do have Callie H saying, let's go Nolan. Here for Nolan, number 42. That's Nolan Hodgins. So Nolan's getting some love out there in the chat. He's up 8 positions currently, sitting in 11th as my timing screen decides to jump around a little bit.
There's Nolan.
Yeah. There's Nolan. Okay, so we have him showing in 22nd. My timing screen is all over the place, showing him in 12th, and then now it's 14th. So I'm going to have to go ahead and rely on the TV here instead of my timing screen, because that is just confusing me.
He appears to be dropping some spots, getting some pressure. This could also just be a strategy. Got a couple fast drivers behind him. No reason to hold him up. No reason to kind of push yourself to drive faster and harder than you need to. That's what some drivers did last night, and I'm assuming some drivers have done before in official races, where they just kind of push themselves too hard, and then they end up going to sleep early tonight.
Yeah, especially you want to be very careful with this track, because as we see the 29 car there with quite a bit of damage in front of us. Yeah, it's a challenge to keep your eyes open and keep your head down at this track. Everything is going on so closely. It's not a very wide track, and there's a lot of banking, and you can hold a lot of speed. So it really, lends itself to a high caution amount, and you really got to pay attention. You got to be very careful here, because things can go sideways very quickly. You can get loose pretty much anywhere on the track, and there's not really any place to go if a car gets loose in front of you. There's not very much room to take avoiding action. You just kind of have to pray for the best.
No, there really isn't. You have to be careful as to where you run, how you run, and kind of like the people you're on with, because anybody makes a mistake in front of you, and like you mentioned, there probably really isn't anywhere to go. As we're taking a look, John Delaney appears to be making up some spots back, so it looks like he was holding his own. His car's coming back to him right now. Now that we're already 57 laps into this run. He's starting to get some more speed and is looking to work around the number 1 of Dustin Hall.
He takes the inside and gets the move done. That was very nicely done. You see Dustin is also coming under a little bit of pressure here from Murray as well. Looks like
here's a little treat for you guys. It's been a hot minute since I've done something like this, and but let's go ahead and switch on over to the multicam, because if we take a look at Cameron Stone, we got provided with some amazing special footage as we have the feet cam. It's been a long time since, I'm assuming last year, that we had the feet cam, but it's back.
Nice Huskenfelds. I want to upgrade myself to one day.
It is, yeah, he's got a very nice rig. You saw the brand right here. You have I gotta point out, beautifully custom printed out piece of paper with his sponsors and logos, and also another personal favorite, the knocked over can of zip ties.
Hey, you can never have too many zip ties.
It's true. I need to buy some more zip ties for work.
It always blows my mind. You can get the cheap zip ties, and you can get the really expensive zip ties, and they're the exact same, but they can get extremely expensive.
About that.
I used to pull cable, so like Cat 5, Cat 6, fiber optic, and all that stuff. You take for granted all those zip ties, and then all of a sudden you take a look at your inventory for a job site, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, zip ties cost that much.
Well, because I think some of those zip ties, while they look the same, they're able to withstand more heat without losing its strength compared to the cheap ones, which can barely contain any heat. So if you're not working with heat, then just get the cheapo, like couple cent per zip tie.
We got the Gaming Baron saying those are his lucky zip ties. He hasn't moved them since the 2020 championship.
I was wondering why the zip ties seem so familiar to me.
They were looking a little dusty, but we're going to leave them be. I really like that though. You see that a lot of times with rally drivers. You get the opposite view camera. You can see like the footwork on a rally car. That's pretty cool. You don't see that too often when it comes to sim racing.
That's right, no, you don't. But taking a look right now, no change so far in the top spot. It's still Bryson Hickenbaum, Lucas Hoitzma, and Matt Long. John Delaney is currently back up into 4th, only 2 spots down for where he started tonight's race. But we already have, oh, excuse me, oh yeah, we do. We already have lap traffic kind of in the way. As we take a look, go on board the 97, there's the 53 of Preston McRae, Nolan Hodgson, the 42, Dalton Mobley, in the 77, and Wayne Grassi in the 7 have all gone at least a lap down here tonight so far.
As we see, Hoitzma is getting passed there by Long, and Delaney is on the outside as well. So it looks like Hoitzma might be losing a little bit of pace there. Strong early run. As we see, John Delaney, like you said, is starting to gain a little more speed as this run goes longer. We saw that last week as well with Long. Matt Long definitely had he had the opposite going last week. He had really, really good short run speed and then kind of fell off. So this week it looks like he's doing kind of the opposite, having really strong medium to long pace speed. But all 3 of these guys are kind of falling back to our leader there, Bryson Hickenbaum, about 2.5 seconds up on these guys here. So he's really running away with it his first stint here.
Yeah, he's doing a great job so far. We're already 73 laps into this race, caution free so far, which is great. We
had 1 caution.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's right. We did have 1 caution at the beginning. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Aside from that, though.
Yeah, we're making some great time here. But yeah, very quick caution. Well, that's why, because it was right at the beginning. The drivers haven't even had a chance to even get up to fully speed. Caution came out. It's like an extended green flag, no problem, except for the drivers who got involved in that incident. If a caution came out in the middle of this run, then we would have been like, oh, it's only been like 30 laps since the last caution.
Yeah, no, this has been a very clean run. I'm actually extremely impressed by the way these drivers are pulling this out. Everybody's giving each other plenty of space, respecting each other. It's been just clean, hard racing, but caution free. So let's hope for more of the same.
Yeah, and Bristol does have a history here with the 100% Cup Series of having very clean, very long run races. Bristol was one of the races, I believe it was last year. If not, then it was in 2020, before it got rebranded to 100% Cup Series, where we've had a finish where every single driver except the race leader got put a lap down.
That's insane.
So, yeah, it's happened a couple times, and I think every time it's happened, at least with 3-Ride TV, it's been in the 100% Cup Series, and I do believe that this was one of the races. So Bristol has a very strong and very clean history with this racing league.
Yeah, that's very impressive as we see John Delaney going on the inside of Matt Long there. Riding back a little further in the pack here. Got the 12 car, the 96 car going at each other. Apologize, I'm still learning everybody's numbers, so bear with me here. Jason Taylor, Devin Medeiros, there we go. Devin Medeiros is in the 20 car there. Follow along here.
And for all you fans wondering, hey, wait, this is not Andre, and this is also not James. What happened? Well, James and his missus have had to go to a very nice, fun holiday break, and unfortunately with Andre, he had something come up last minute, so I'm his replacement tonight, and Michael is covering for James. But we're gonna do the best we can here, have a nice fun time, and hey, I gotta say, it's about 70. I was here thinking we're still in the 70s. 83 laps into this race, and I'm still having a blast.
Yeah, no, we only have 42 laps left in this first stage here, so it's gone by very cleanly, very quickly. As we see, Medeiros is really sticking to the back of that 12 car of Jason Taylor, trying to get into the top 10 there. Medeiros, one of those bubble drivers, trying to work his way into keeping his position in the playoffs.
our race leader currently right now, has lapped all the way up to, all the way up to Chad Sanner in 24th. So currently only 23 laps in, 23 drivers in the lead lap. Excuse me, one of the drivers got loose at the exit of the corner, but that you're seeing right there is the 8 of RJ Root trying to stay on the lead lap.
I think we saw somebody diving into the pits there. Now, one of the interesting things about Bristol is the pit setup. Pit entry is in between 1 and 2, and you have to go all the way around the track to get back on the track. I've always found that very interesting. Can be very frustrating at times, but it's just a very interesting setup, you know.
Did you say that Root had a took a what's it called, a provisional?
Yeah, Root took a provisional. Let me get my stats back up. RJ Root 29th and Preston McRae both took provisionals. That's why they started the back. So yeah, RJ Root.
Oh, I'm
started
stupid. Oh man. Okay, I was confusing provisionals with like what's that called when they give you points when you don't make it, but you say you can't make it.
Yeah, no, they used provisionals to. They didn't have to qualify. They just
So it's my bad. That's on me.
No, you're yeah. I can't think of what you're talking about, but I did a little bit of research here on Bristol.
No, they're called provisionals, but it's provisionals for the race, not for qualifying.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I always like to do some research on tracks. Something that I found interesting is Bristol is one of the only tracks that is concrete. Bristol in Texas, I believe, is the other track.
And Nashville now.
Is Nashville now too? Okay, yeah. So they're the 3 that are concrete. So I always found that to be completely interesting. The differences between asphalt and concrete and how they race and how they wear and tear.
Isn't Dover also concrete? Or am I wrong?
I mean, I could be wrong. Let me check that. See here. The information that I had is probably old because it just said Texas and Bristol. So let me go ahead and see.
Is it which Texas? Does it say Texas World Speedway or Texas Motor Speedway?
I think it was Texas Motor Speedway.
I was gonna say because if it's World, then that one's really old.
Let me get back to you on that. I'll do some more research here. I could be wrong. But the information that I had was that it was just Bristol and Texas. But yeah, I'll get back to you guys too on that.
Taking a look, Bryson Hicksball still kind of relatively staying away from everybody else, as he's been running some. Oh, excuse me. Never mind. Delaney and Benefield has been slowly gaining on Hicksball, with the exception of this last lap. Now it's back to Delaney getting a little bit, and Benefield actually lost a little bit of time there. But I was under the impression that Hicksball was slightly pulling away, but no. Now that I look at it, I've had all my numbers backwards because Delaney has been catching up. Delaney is relatively in safe hands. He doesn't have to drive too hard. Unless something really, really bad happens, he's more than likely locked in, or he's more than likely going into the next round, around the 12th. Same thing with Benefield.
Yeah, they're both sitting at 48 points, 2 off of Alex Murray sitting on 50. So, yeah, like you said, there has to be some sort of catastrophic failure for them not to make it. But yeah, like to your point, Hicksball was about 2.5 seconds up. Now he's only a half a second up on John Delaney. So clearly Delaney does have that long run
and look
speed.
what he has.
Well, yeah, he's got tons of traffic here. That's probably why.
Wow. And traffic has been playing a pretty decent role here. And it's what you've seen both in real life and in 100% races in the past. But this is a lot of the drivers. I mentioned how the race went. Oh, Delaney's actually going by on the outside. He chose the outside, and he's pulling on by right now.
Yeah, using that traffic to his advantage. He's going to go around Robert Anderson there. He's going to make the move. He's going to stick it, and he's going to take first. Is he going to be able to work himself through the traffic, or is he going to get caught up in this as well?
Well, here's the question. You got drivers going too wide in front of him. This is how we saw Delaney really catch up very quickly there with those 2 laps previous, and then how we saw Delaney get past him on the outside. Excuse me.
This is
there you go on.
Yeah, this is the time that you really start to worry about, you know, how well your tires are going to hold on. You got 105 laps on them now. You're in air, you're dirty air, you're in traffic. You're fighting for the lead. This is where you really got to start stressing about how well your tires are holding on, because, you know, one loose slip there in traffic and your race is over.
And we saw, or we haven't saw, but I do want to point out that Jonathan Delaney's fastest lap is currently around 15 seconds, 15.10 seconds. His last lap was 16.5, so he's about a second and a half slower than his fastest lap so far. 108 laps into this race, or 107 laps into this race. The question is, I do believe they can make it. No, they can make it the rest of the way, but once that caution comes out, everybody's gonna want to go down pit road and get some fresh tires. The tire percentage isn't gonna be wearing that much. I believe a 55 lap run I did only wore it down to about 90, 93, 94.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I'll probably get into the upper 80s with 125. But everybody's going to want to go down pit road because the performance of these tires has dipped drastically.
Yeah, to your point there, the performance is definitely going to start falling off here, but you don't necessarily want to, especially if you're one of these leaders, you don't really want to go in under green flag. You want to wait and hold out until the stage caution, because if you dip in under green flags, you're going to go down at least 2 laps because this is such a short track.
If the caution comes out, though, at any point between now and the stage end, it's going to be a little weird. I do believe the majority of the drivers are going to go down pit road, get fresh tires, but I will expect to see a couple drivers decide to stay out on old tires to possibly win the stage. But it really depends on how many drivers will do that. If it's 2 or 3, they're not going to win. But if like 10 or so drivers stay out, and it's going to be like an 8-lap shootout, then there's a decent chance somebody might get a stage win that didn't go down pit road.
I think that has a lot to do with strategy, but not necessarily per race, but for points towards the chase. If you're looking at somebody like Benefield, it would make sense for them to go in and, you know, get fresh tires because they're pretty much locked into the round of 12th. Somebody like Hall, though, you know, Dustin Hall here, one car sitting in 5th place, it would make sense for him to try to stick it out on those older tires and try to win the stage to get those stage points because he's right on that bubble. He needs those points.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of disagree with that because Dustin Hall is 0. He's tied. He's just losing the tiebreaker. So he needs to have a really good night. And realistically, where he finishes like this, I do think he'll be able to get in. But because the numbers are so tight, I don't think it's worth the risk to get the stage points, but then put yourself all the way at the end for the next stage. Because then you'll be fighting a battle all the way at the back of the pack where you can put yourself in dangerous situations. But I would agree if it's somebody like Kevin Steele, who's currently 17 points back. 17 points back. You go in, you get the stage win, or you get really good points. You're able to knock down that deficit of -17. Maybe make it realistically, probably at best 9 points back from the cutoff, but probably be around 12, 13, 14. You're gonna knock away some of those points, and then if you kind of get in the same position to do it for stage 2, you're gonna find yourself in a single-digit deficit category, and from there, that's a somewhat realistic chance of getting into the next round if you're able to put yourself in a good position towards the end. Meanwhile, if you're running kind of towards the middle and the back and you don't do anything for the first 2 stages, then you're gonna have to get that win for sure to get yourself into the next round. So if you crash out somewhere in stage 1 and 2, and there's a good chance you weren't gonna win the race anyway. So might as well take the risk.
Well, I mean, all of this strategy might be for naught because we've only got about 3 laps left here.
Yeah, that's
stage
true.
1.
That's true.
So as long as we stay under green, then none of that's going to be an issue.
These laps are going by so quick. Now, I do have notifications of what's going on with the real life cup race. So they're somewhere like 60 or so laps into the next stage. So that question is, can these guys run so fast with little cautions to actually finish ahead of the Cup Series drivers, even though they started like an hour or so later?
That would be interesting. As we see, we're about to come around for the white flag. Delaney is sitting there with about 6/10 up on Hickson Ball. So as long as this traffic doesn't get too far into the way, Delaney should have a stage win here with 48 points. That's pretty much going to secure John Delaney into the next round, I would assume.
Yeah, I believe in the real life cup races, the stage is over. It's going to be over here in a couple seconds. The real life cup racing, you have to be like 53 or so points ahead of the cutoff to be locked in with one race to go. And I believe with these 10 points, that should put him up above that kind of deficit. So realistically, though, there's really like very little chance of Delaney, Hickson-Ball, and Benefield getting knocked out here.
Yeah, no, and as we see, Delaney does go ahead and take that win. Going to go ahead and take a rundown here. Right now we see Delaney in first, Hickson-Ball in second, Benefield took third, fourth was Long, fifth was Hall, Stone in sixth, Giglio seventh, Hoytsma fell back to eighth place, Murray in ninth, Heitman in 10th, Amon in 11th, Stout in 12th, Steele up into 13th, Taylor a lap down in 14th is going to be your free pass there. The lucky dogs going around now. We got Pierce and Vandersant, Medeiros, Anderson, O'Brien Jr., and DiCiani in 20th place. So we see everybody is going to be coming down the pit lane now.
Yes, indeed. Stage 1 went by like that. Only one caution at the end of lap 1 due to a car getting loose in the middle, spinning out and collecting 2 others. But aside from that, it's been a very, very fast, hot running without any interruptions. Now, you're noticing why these drivers went down pit road on the backstretch, entering the backstretch, and why they have to go around. You see this blue line here? That means that they're using the Bristol one pit road configuration, which means every single driver has to enter pit road from the pit road in the backstretch, go around while at pit road speed, and then enter the second pit road on the front stretch, and then from there they'll be able to go down their stall. And the reason why is that for a long time, people have been complaining to iRacing that when they race in races that have over, I believe, 20 something odd drivers, that they have to use that second pit lane, then drivers would purposely not qualify to kind of get themselves into that second lane on pit road. And then when the caution came out, if no matter where they would be, if they were 8th or 12th or whatever happened, when they approached pit road, the drivers who had that pit road stall in the front stretch would go down pit road, and then the drivers who would pit in the second slot would accelerate and catch back up to the pace car well before they even entered their own pit road on the backstretch. And then they enter, and it's essentially, like I said, they're entering from first place because they have less of a gap to cover. And so after months and possibly years of people complaining to iRacing, they were able to add the second configuration where everybody has to do that in pit road.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. You know, you got people that are trying to take advantage of things. And, I mean, I guess there's an argument that since it's in the sim, you know, it's part of the game, part of the sim, whatever you want to say, but at the same time, I agree that iRacing definitely needed to take that out of there. There's too many. It's kind of like the tire dipping fiasco at Spa. You know, it needs to be taken care of. So, kudos on iRacing on getting that taken care of. See Robert Stone still shouting out for Cameron Stone there. Keep climbing, Bubba. Cameron is up into 9th place right now, making moves, up 6 positions.
Let's take a look at the foot cam, see how that's going. Pretty good.
Very nice, very nice. I feel like we're on Thursday Night Football there with the teleprompter.
Oh, and
we are
this
back
thing
to
happened
green.
far quicker than I expected. Yeah, we're back under green flag conditions. Jonathan Delaney, massive run. Yeah, massive run is Robert Stone just giving us an in real life update on the real life cars, as they apparently appear to be suffering from power steering issues. So that sucks. Already, with the fact that they have to run these in here for a full 500 lap distance. I ran it for 200 or so laps, 225 laps last night with the D2 race, and I have to say, in practice, my arms are already getting tired. You have to give it so much wheel with these vehicles, even on like the highest. I forgot what it's called here, but with like the twitchiest setting on the steering wheel, you still have to give it a lot of wheel on it. And these guys have to do it for 500 laps, so they're going to be tired well before the halfway point of the race. And you know, as long as they're all running even cars with the same setup, if that's the case, then it'll come up to the driver who was able to prepare for this and has the ability to kind of hold off on that last bit of strength as much as they can. But why don't you go ahead and take over for a little bit as I do a little bit of housekeeping here with our graphics.
Yeah, not a problem here. So we see a couple drivers new to the front of the pack. We see the first time we've seen Blake Iglio up front. Cameron Stone also working his way into 5th place. Matt Long is falling back into 5th. And Hoytsma has moved back into 6th position. We see Blake Iglio and Cameron Stone are duking it out here. It looks like Cameron Stone has got the move done on the high side. He is up into 3rd place. So Robert there in the chat is definitely going to be happy for that. Roy and Becky Travels, great race so far. Thank you guys. It has been a great race so far. It's been a nice clean race. Great to see everybody keeping their noses clean. So we're right along here with Matt Long, following on the bumper here of Blake Iglio. We'll watch the other guys on replay. This is the real race. That is true. That is true, definitely this is the real race. Now I do wonder. The seals are blowing the fluid on the front right tire. Now, Robert, if you could, is that heat related? What is going on with the real NASCAR race? That sounds exciting. I'm always interested in the technical aspects of NASCAR. Well, any racing to begin with. But
this year is like I remember the last year, and then in 2020, where we're following the real life cup schedule, and then the races that were run on Saturday were pushed to Friday. And I have a feeling that we're not doing it this year because they wanted to keep all of the dates on the same time, so that people who could make it on Saturday but can't make it on Friday don't kind of get like ripped off, or screwed over isn't necessarily the right term, but they don't kind of get themselves in that position where they'll have to miss an important race like this cutoff race because the real life cup race is racing on a Saturdays, and then we run it on Friday. So this year they've all been running it on the same day, and while I don't like the fact that I need to be missing a cup race, I personally agree. In the terms of a driver and in the view set of a league admin, that it's the better idea to keep it on the same date.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Keeps things in order, keeps things in line. It does kind of suck here. Obviously there's a night race on. Everybody likes Bristol at night. Obviously, Bristol's a great race, but it does keep everything in line and keeps everybody able to kind of stay on track. I prefer it this way. But, then again, I'm not a driver, so I'm just here for the ride. 7 there. What is going on with the 7 falling down? Wayne Grass down in the apron, going down to the pits there. I wonder if they had an issue or why they were entering the pit lanes.
I know Wayne Gracie was suffering already multiple laps down before the stage 1 ended, so it could have just been an issue, maybe hitting the wall or something. Speaking of hitting the wall, the drivers recently, not last week, but the week before that, when the season 4 build came out, they changed the way that these cars kind of take a beating. And I believe Andre and you guys talked about this last week, where it's now an accumulated form of damage. And we didn't really get to see that too much last week at Kansas, but this week at Bristol, when there's a good chance a lot of you guys are going to be hitting the wall at the exit of the corner, or even hitting the wall, getting loose in the middle of the straightaway or backstretch, there's a good chance we'll see that accumulated damage come into play here next week.
Yeah, no, yeah, Andre was definitely bringing that up. That was the first that I had really learned about it. I'm still technically new to the iRacing sim. That being said, I've had my account for 7 years, but I only started actually like using it this year, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like basically last summer I got a wheel, and then that's when I decided to upgrade my computer because I was playing on Xbox, and Xbox just doesn't cut it. So I wanted to get into like a real simulator. So I finally actually like got my activated my account, and like actually like, 'cause it's funny, you look at my history, it says, oh, there was one race in 2017 and one race in 2020 and one race in 2021, and then all of a sudden I'm at like 200 races this year. So it's I'm still kind of learning the sim, but I'm definitely glad I made that dive. It's just so much more gratifying.
In the meantime, Matt Long did get past Cameron Stone, and Cameron Stone is in danger of losing that 4th place spot to Taylor Stout and possibly Dustin Hall. But I gotta say, Michael, for me, it's kind of been the opposite. Once I hopped into iRacing, I was doing like multiple hundreds amount of races. I was doing races every single day, every single week, multiple times. And then as the years went on, my not my interest level, but like my own free time, and then like do I want to do this? Want to do something else? Kind of it just caused me to kind of like rapidly decrease the amount of races I was doing, to the point where like a couple of years it was single-digit number of races I did a year. Recently it's kind of moved up a little because I'm getting kind of back in the mindset of wanting to race, and I don't do it too often, but sometimes I do it. But it's not even close to what it used to be back when I first started.
Yeah, it takes so much dedication to race and practice, because there is so much practice. You think, this is a sim, this isn't real life, but there's so much minute detail that goes into learning every track and getting your setup right and being consistent. You want to be within a 10th every lap, every single lap, consistently nailing your points, nailing your braking spots, just like always on top of everything. It just takes so much dedication to not only get to a certain level, but to maintain that same level. And it just takes a lot out of you. You sit here and watch these guys, they're going around in circles, but you don't understand, you don't truly appreciate the amount of time that each one of these drivers has put into the sim. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time. It's impressive when you see these guys, especially some of these drivers that are, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 IR rating. Like, that's insane. These guys are no joke. They know what they're doing, and it takes a lot of time to get to that skill level, and not only to get there, but to maintain it. It's impressive.
All perfectly valid points here so far. No changes here in the top spot, with the exception that Cameron Stone is going around.
Cameron.
And he hit the inside wall a ton.
Yeah,
no caution though. No
yet,
caution.
That's definitely gonna have an effect on his wheel there.
Robert Stone, look away. Did he get some help?
Yeah, he got.
I wouldn't call that
zeros.
I wouldn't call that help, but he got tight on the exit of the corner, moved up, and was able to make contact with the 20, as you mentioned. And that little bit of contact, with how on the rails these cars are running, was just enough to get that car going around. And now Cameron Stone is finding himself one lap down. So hopefully for him, if he gets a quick caution, he'll get back and be able to repair some of that damage. But As you can tell, he hit the inside wall a lot, but you're not seeing any damage. That's part of what we're seeing with these new next-gen bodies. The new material kind of causes somewhat significant, but mostly light damage to kind of pop back into place once they make contact. But this is also kind of going to hurt him in terms of that accumulated damage that was introduced with this brand new build. That being said, though, that's accumulated damage on the left side, and realistically, the main concern for all of these drivers is the right side.
Yeah, but still, that's definitely going to affect the turn-in a little bit, especially if it's accumulated. That was a pretty hard hit. Robert's asking if we can show that replay again. Do we have another angle at that replay?
Yeah, let's take a look at the gyro cam. That's the wrong driver, I apologize.
Go here, you see coming in 4. Going to the restart zone. Yeah, he just got the inside corner there, Medeiros. And I guess that wasn't too hard of a tap, but yeah. Wasn't too hard of a tap.
Oh, that was netcode. There wasn't even contact.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
There was just the briefest amount of netcode. Now, here's the thing, though. I actually cannot tell if there would have been contact in real life, but if there would have been contact, that car probably still would have gone around. But yes, I also do agree that probably should have been a caution. Oh, that's a caution!
Oh! Yeah,
what?
that's a caution.
Wait, no, there's no caution. Who was that?
What happened? I'm so confused about what just happened.
There was a car that was... There's the caution. Caution's out. They're wrecking somewhere.
We're going to have to get a replay on this because I know you saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it for like a split second. I actually cannot see what this caution is for. Cameron Stone crashing and Robert Anderson as well. I'm being shown, but this could be wrong.
Derek Heitman jumped to the pits.
Okay, so that's the car we saw, the 11. Oh, and Cameron Stone, nowhere to go. Robert Stone, look away again. As I'm assuming the caution came out because the 11 stopped.
Isn't he just spinning his wheels there? We got another angle at that?
Oh, we'll have multiple angles.
He's just slowing down.
Oh, wait.
What is he slowing?
His suspension was broken. You saw it sparking.
Did he tap the wall? Yeah, you can see the damage there on the... Yeah, he must have hit the wall.
So let's go back, see what happened. You can already see right here, that suspension is broken. So whatever he did, he made contact with both the right side and the left side. But let's take a look and see just what happened. Oh, something else happened up ahead with the 07. I think that was the 07. Not the 07. That's not the 07 I clicked on. Lucas Hoitzma. Here's Hoitzma in the 76. Ooh.
Yeah.
A lot of things happened here.
76 is Derek Heitman there. The Hoitzma got into the back of Derek Heitman coming out of the turn.
He got loose. That's what happened. The
yeah.
bump hit jumped into the
Hoitzman
inside
didn't have
wall.
any place to go.
And then from there, that's where we saw the 11 kind of like just... He can't do anything. He's got like no working parts on either side. Both of his front tires are pretty much destroyed, so he can't even turn if he wanted to. And then of course, Cameron Stone really couldn't do anything else about that. But caution came out. We had a bunch of drivers going down pit lane. I believe every driver went down pit road, and actually, we got a couple more drivers going down pit road. These are the drivers who were at least one lap down.
Yeah. Want to go ahead and jump back into the chat real quick. I think Robert Stone, he says he needs to go back to anger management. Be glad we're not in the basement. Just take a breath, Robert. It's going to be okay.
Now you can give us more updates on the real life race.
That's true. But unfortunately for Robert Anderson, I think that is going to be officially it for him in the chase. Cameron Stone sitting at 24 points. Might still be safe. But, yeah, I think Cameron Stone is going to be safe here. So maybe not for tonight, but for the chase.
He got some good stage 1 points.
5 places up. Yeah, so, yeah, he should be, not guaranteed, but he should be towards the safer end of things. Dustin Hall is having a great run here. This might be helping Dustin Hall out. Ralph Hutchison we're showing in 15th place.
He's 15th, first driver, 1 lap down.
Yep. Let's see here. Kevin Steele, where are we showing Kevin Steele at? I can't trust my...
Kevin Steele is currently in 9th place.
Oh yeah, right there in front of my face. There we go. Yeah, Kevin Steele in 9th place. So that's decently solid for Kevin, but might be a little too late for Kevin being 17 points back.
Well, it's not too late. The only thing he needs to do is get a win at this point.
Okay, and we are back in the green.
Yeah, no difference this time for Jonathan Delaney is he has pulled off gloriously against compared to the rest of the field. It's now Matt Long and the 63 of Bryson Hickson-Ball battling for that second place spot. Justin Hall's just hanging in back there. He realistically just needs a nice, clean, strong finish. He doesn't need to put himself in a position to win the race, or I should say he doesn't need to put himself in a position to wreck the car. And you know, if that happens because he's trying to push himself to win the race, then maybe he shouldn't be doing that. But you know, if he gets in there pretty nice and clean, then that's good for him. But he just needs to have a solid, good finish because he's tied on the cutoff. And if he does that, he should be in.
Yeah, especially with Robert Anderson pretty much being out here. Dustin Hall, you know, having a good stage 1 result, keeping himself up front here in stage 2. You know, it should be pretty solid for him. We see here we're about 65 laps left to go until the end of stage 2. Dustin Hall is having a great run here. You see Blake Giglio is back up into 5th place. Been a quiet night for Giglio. Moving around a little bit towards the front. Falling back a little bit, but back up into the 5th place now. See Adam Benefiel. He was running up in 3rd place earlier. Now he's in 7th place. We got Murray in 8th place there. Alex Murray is pretty much in it. He's 50 points up, so there's very little that can go wrong for him at this point.
Yeah, and all the drivers you mentioned are pretty much in it for this next round of 12. Right now, taking a look. Let's take a look at the drivers who are currently out. We've already mentioned Dustin Hall running a nice, strong race. Robert Anderson unfortunately got involved in that incident, and realistically, his day is done. Not just his championship. Yeah, the championship, the season is done for him. Kevin Steele, he was running in 9th at the time. He's actually dropped back a little bit. You know, he's making Kevin Steele strong, consistent driver who'll get you to the end unless, you know, he's not the one to cause accidents, but he is the one to get involved in them. Unfortunately, he's got major bad luck. And right now he has to win tonight's race to pretty much advance into the next round. Because at this point, he didn't do too strong in stage 1, isn't doing too strong right now within stage 2. So realistically, he has to get this win at this point. And then the last driver is Hickenbottom. Hickenbottom's locked in. Hickenbottom in the 0-0 machine currently 1 lap down. His caution is out.
Caution there.
96.
Car sideways there on the apron.
Alex Van de Sand has been involved in this one. There's a 20 of Maduros. Ooh.
Is that another net code with the
we'll see.
Maduros?
This one brought out a caution though because the car did come to a complete stop. But let's take a look and see what happened. Let's take a look from the blimp cam if there was contact. I think that also was net code, but it's another one of those situations where even if there was contact, the car probably would have reacted the same way.
Yeah, good for Vandersand to keep it out of the inside wall there. It's a great save. You see Medeiros going around for the lucky dog, getting his lap back.
He did end up going a lap down because of it still.
Yeah, but he was able to keep it out of the wall, so no damage.
No damage indeed, and we'll see if any of these drivers go down pit road right now. The only drivers on pit road right now are Hoitzma, Heitman, Anderson, and Mobley, who are 27th and back here on the race. They've all been down pit road multiple times. Actually, Cameron Stone, Sean O'Brien, and Raymond Root, or RG Root, I believe, are all going down pit road. currently in the lead lap, and that's going to be it for the drivers on the lead lap. But we're going to go ahead and take a mini break, and we'll be right back for the start of this next restart. All right, we're back. We're about to have our fourth restart here of the night. Third one, or I should say second one here in stage number 2. Well, that's technically third one because the stage 1 caution is a restart. It doesn't matter though. Third restart here of the night in stage number 2. Let's see if Delaney gets a mammoth restart. Pace cars off, and they're going to go straight off here. Delaney, once again, pretty good restart. Surprisingly, not the biggest of his night as Matt Long has been catching on to his quick movement. Both of these two drivers currently out in front from the rest of the field. As the 63 of Bryson Higginbaugh and Dustin Hall are battling side by side, but never mind, as they single file out here for these first 5 spots.
Yeah, it looks like they are definitely going at it. Delaney did not get as strong of a start this time as he has in the past. We see Matt Long is right on his tail. Higginbaugh is right there with him. We got Lucas Hoytsma in the chat. Well, there goes my playoffs. Lucas, not necessarily. You got 21. You're sitting on 21 points right now. Robert Anderson's going to be out. So you are going to be right on that cusp. So you still have a chance. So hold on, Lucas. Don't give up yet. So you see here, coming through.
You know, here's the thing. We saw the contact with Hoytsma and the 11 and the lap down vehicle. But I was only focusing on the 11 being out of the race. I completely forgot that Lucas got significant damage from that. And he's been in pit road since he's in the garage. We can tell that he's currently at least temporarily out of the race. But Lucas, if you have something, if you want to have a quick word or two with us here in the booth, why don't you hop into the Info Care Center? We'll grab you in here. Gonna talk about your run here tonight and your season overall. Other than that, so everything appears to be perfectly fine here so far. 200 laps into this race, less than 50 laps to go here. Next time by, it'll be 45 laps here in stage number 2. Delaney has been leading ever since he retook the lead from Higginbaugh.
15. He took the lead early, and he has not let it go. We see Matt Long is trying to stick to him. He's still only 3/10 off, almost 4/10 off, but not let him get away too quickly here. You saw earlier Higginbaugh had about a 2.5 second lead. That was on a longer run, as we've had a couple shorter runs here in the second stage, so hopefully here we'll be able to finish up under green and then have some nice clean, nice long stints in stage 3.
Yep, it hasn't been quite as quick with compared to stage 1, but the stage 2 is still going by pretty quickly though, regardless.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going by pretty quick. We've had some great racing. Just unfortunately, there's been a couple netcode incidents and been a couple other, misfortunes there that have knocked a couple drivers out. We have lost a few drivers now, but for the most part, it's been a pretty clean night. Good racing as we see a 5th caution. What's going on here?
Oh, Preston McRae, I believe, has been involved here.
See a car down on the apron here in the inside of turn 2.
Oh, the 42, the 0-0 playoff.
Oh,
Bubble driver involved, and Preston McRae gave it too much beans there exiting the corner and tried to save it, but ended up whipping it around.
yeah, that was just unfortunate. Getting loose here coming out of the turn. Got into the front of the, was that the 41 car?
The 42. You will
The
go on
42
board.
car?
Yep.
Preston coming in. He gets a little loose midway through the corner, and then he's able to save it, and then it comes back on him. He just cuts right in front of the 42 car here. The 42 doesn't have any place to go, but lucky for the 42, it wasn't a very hard hit. So there might not be too much damage. As we see Matt Long coming down pit road. He's got Stout coming down pit road too.
Yeah, there's a little bit of kind of like a fake move from some of these drivers were doing. But I think regardless, the 97 and who else went down pit road?
Stout.
Stout. Yeah, when 97 and Stout went down pit road, regardless whether it was going to happen. Stout looks like his
Stone's in the
pit
pits
stall's
too.
all the way in the back. Yeah.
Cameron Stone coming down the pits. Well, see the damage there. Cameron Stone's still on the lead lap though, so
That's good.
even though he's involved in those incidents, he's still on the lead lap. So good for him. Yeah, we definitely see quite a bit of damage there on the front right end. So that's going to be a little bit of accumulation there. It looks like on my screen, I'm seeing more damage than I'm seeing on the YouTube's feed. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. On my screen, it showed quite a bit of damage, but there on your YouTube feed, it didn't really show too much at all. Nope.
You're ruining the magic by talking about differences.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we're gonna defer to the YouTube feed. That's for sure. We're deferring to yours. I'm just saying what I see on the screen, and then I look up and see what you see on the screen. It's not quite the same. So, one day I'll
we've
be
been
able
talking
to
about
upgrade
drivers here who are going to be having a tough night here tonight. But you know what we haven't been talking about? Commentators having a tough night here tonight. My downstairs neighbor decided today was a good idea to grill some barbecue, but it's raining, so he's kind of doing it kind of like inside like the roof area of like our complex thingy. And all the smell is just wafting into my room, and I am just suffering with how hungry I am.
I mean, that's unfortunate. I hope that he at least invites you down for some. That's kind of rude. You're just gonna like smoke out your neighbors with all that beautiful barbecue smell and just not even offer any to them. Ah, man, them's fighting words.
When I come out and I see him, I'm gonna start swinging. It's on site.
Here, the iRacing pace truck looks like it still has its lights on, so we're going to be going around here for at least one more lap. We're coming
No,
close
the lights
up
are
now.
off. The lights are off.
Well,
I think something's wrong on your end.
yeah, no, they're off now, so it definitely let's go ahead and blame my computer. It's ancient, so as we see, John Delaney got a great start again this time.
Is it better than the last one?
Gone, yeah, much better than the last one. More indicative of the first couple that he had, as we see Hixenbaugh is able to get around the outside of Hall. Giglio's trying that same high line there. Gets a little loose, gets into the wall, but he's able to save it. No harm, no foul there. Blake Giglio, as he is still able to get around the outside of Hall even after that little mistake there. Wonder if Hall backed out a little bit just because he saw it out of the corner of his eye.
Yeah, for some of the drivers that went down Pear Road, these early laps are going to be some of the toughest to drive, especially if you're starting off with a very loose race car. But these drivers have already been running multiple laps on these old set of tires, you can kind of pretty much give it the beans to begin with. But there's still a limit as to how much you can do, and you got to figure that out very quickly, because if you push it too hard, you're gonna go around in front of the whole field.
Yeah, there's no place to go. If you're spinning around, and we've already seen it a couple times, you're going to collect somebody. There's just not enough room, not enough space here at Bristol. It's just too tight of a track. Delaney is definitely getting out to a solid lead there. About 4/10 up on Hicks and Baugh. Giglio and Hall sitting back about a second behind Delaney there, fighting it out. And Murray is coming up on the inside, took the spot from Giglio there. RJ Root up into 6th place there. Matt Long has fallen back into 7th place, but I believe Matt Long was one of those pitters. So Matt Long is going to be set up pretty well for the start of the 3rd stage here. Steele back in 8th place, Ammon in 9th place, Adam Benefield is in 10th place. Medeiros up into 11th place, Taylor in 12th. Stout is in 13th. He also was in the pit there. We saw Cameron Stone come into the pits as well. O'Brien and Hutchison as well, I believe. That rounds out your top 16, everybody that's on the lead lap.
You're going to say, taking a look at RJ Root, so far he's the biggest mover of the night, up 24 spots from where he didn't qualify. He took a provisional, as I kind of learned that the hard way, is not what I thought it meant. But yeah, RJ Root is moving up and in the top 5 right now, well, battling to get in the top 5. But RJ Root, he's got a very strong looking whip right here. If he gets in the front here with the late caution, don't be afraid to count him out. It may just not be an easy win for Delaney here.
Yeah, I mean, we saw RJ Root win last week. We know he's capable of doing it. He's just, last week we saw him just kind of hanging out there in 3rd place, waiting for Leo and was it Hicks and Ball that he was fighting with last week? Who else was up front?
I believe that's the case.
Yeah, we saw them kind of getting into it there towards the end, having that last lap incident, and RJ Root was able to take advantage of that. So just patiently working his way up into 6th spot here, just calm, collected, smooth, keeping his head down. Don't rule him out, like you said. You see Stone coming up there.
Yeah, these drivers are not afraid to get side by side. We're taking a look at some of the battles a little bit further back. We only got 16 cars on the lead lap. Is the 5 cars going to get loose and hit the inside wall? Maybe no. Wow.
Save it.
No caution, because all of this happened below the racing surface. What a fantastic job by the 5 to not bin that machine.
Kyle Ammon there definitely got loose coming down the straight and was able to keep it out of the wall, but that sets them back quite a bit. We're running up in the top 10 now, all the way back in the 16th, last car on the lead lap.
Ooh, here we go. Interesting. It's shaping up here a little interesting. Battle for second as the 97 is cut up. He's got the fresh tires, and he's going to be looking to get that lead spot, and that's going to be like essentially no challenge at all. Delaney pretty much has no choice but to give it up. That's how strong these fresh tires are. Matt Long, last lap. We'll give it a little bit to actually update, because he could have just been slowing down to get a battle with these drivers. This one could be a real indicator here. He ran a 15.13. Meanwhile, Delaney is running about 4 or 5 tenths of a second slower than that. So this is something that I did notice.
Make a move here.
Yeah, this is something. Who?
Oh, I thought Ixenball was about to make a move there on.
No, yeah, sorry. I thought you said Medeiros. I was like, what? He's further back.
No.
Yeah, no, because they're both green cars. But no, this is something I noticed yesterday running the D2 race. We did have a period where some drivers elected to go down pit road in the middle of kind of a long run, where some of the drivers did not necessarily want to take tires to save them for the end. I was one of those drivers. So I noticed that the drivers who took fresh tires were able to make very quick work. Not relatively quickly, but possibly around the same distance that it took Long to get into the lead position. So it's something that maybe take a note for at the end should something like that happen. But it's something to see just how much he'll be able to pull away from the rest of the field if this goes little bit longer because there's only so much laps remaining. We have about 13 laps before stage 2 ends. So unless a caution comes out and changes things up, Matt Long is pretty much going to be the stage 2 winner.
Yeah, no, he's already able to put 3-second gap on Delaney and Hicksonball. Unless there's any sort of incident, Matt Long is definitely running away with this stage here. And we see, you know, the strength of those fresh tires. Delaney and Hicksonball deciding to stay out. Matt Long taking the chance, rolling the dice. We see Cameron Stone up into 5th place. He's pitted as well. Dowd, I believe, pitted as well. So they're making moves up at the front. So this might have backfired for our previous leaders in Delaney and Hicksonball. Looks like they're getting past, like they're standing still.
Yeah.
9 laps left.
It's not going to happen here, but on stage 3, where we have pretty much half the race distance to go, we could see a green flag stop happening, and that's when it could be the biggest kind of scare factor of the whole race, where you have drivers who are running on like about 100 lap old tires, maybe 125, but they're going to split in half, lap old tires, and then you have drivers who are going to cut it very short, pit a little bit early, go down pit road, and then you have to kind of like hold your position as those drivers have to go around you with a very, very quick difference in terms of speed. So that's where you'll see some of these drivers kind of possibly have issues where they'll make a mistake, misjudge a corner, misjudge a person's speed, and it result in a big caution.
Yeah, if we get a long stretch there in the third stint, in the third stage there, as we see Stout got real loose coming onto the front stretch there. Cameron Stone is going to make a move on the outside and get that job done. Cameron Stone up in the 2nd place. Robert Stone in the chat, 57 is resilient, and we have a caution.
65 of Sean O'Brien Jr., a playoff driver. And
yeah, as
Sean
you're
O'Brien
saying,
Jr. He's not necessarily safe. He was only 6 spots ahead of the deadline. He's not going to get stage points here. So this is not good for the 65, as that one kind of seemed like a racing incident. The 65 and the 20 came up and down at the same time, it seems.
Medeiros involved again. That's been 3 incidents that Medeiros has been involved in. We know at least one of them was net code. That one, like you said, looked more like a...
I chose the worst camera angle for this one. I apologize. That being said, though, those first 2 incidents, the 20 really didn't do anything except for exist. That was also net code.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did anything wrong there either. So, yeah, the 20 unfortunately has been involved in 3 separate incidents, and it you know, nothing negative that like they're doing it with their own driving. As we see Matt Long coming in for fresh tires again. This is a great strategy by Matt. You already have the fresh tires, but you get a free caution here. There's no reason not to. I like the move.
Yeah, I expected to see the drivers that did not pit to go down pit road, because the stage is over, I believe, because of how quick the caution came out, or I should say how close the caution came out to the end of the stage. The stage is over at the time of the caution, so everybody's going down pit road right now to get fresh tires. This was a good move for the 97 and the 40 and the 57. It's going to cost them a set of tires they're going to have at the end. But with how quick this race is going, there really hasn't been that many cautions overall that people have gone down to pit road for. There was a caution. There was a caution on lap 1. Nobody went down pit road that time. The end of the stage at lap 120 something, 125. Everybody went down pit road there. Then there was a caution, I think, around the halfway point of this race, where we saw some of these drivers go down pit road. So that's 2 sets of tires for the ones that they go down pit road. And then this second time where the caution came out again for the end of the stage, or for an incident near the end of the stage, everybody's going down pit road. So at worst, we have drivers with 3 sets of tires that they've used. 2 sets of tires that they've used, I apologize. And then we have drivers who've only... No, 3 sets of tires. And then we have drivers who've only used 2 sets of tires.
Yeah. So we
and
got
there's
a couple
10
of those
overall.
up front there.
Well, 9, I should say.
Delaney and Hicksonball. So they're going to be looking for a late caution to save those, since they saved those extra tires. Going to be looking for a caution there in the second half of the last stage there. Rowdy had an engine failure. So Robert's saying this, he thinks the 20 swerved coming out of the corner there.
I personally don't see it that way. It kind of seemed like the 20 maybe got a little loose at the same time that the other driver had to go up. But it's too early. Who knows? Maybe that did happen. We'll have to see if maybe something like that happens again. Oh, okay. So I'm actually reading what Robert said. I thought you were saying that the 20 swerved down to kind of like hip check or dirt check. Well, actually, that is what Robert's saying.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I was reading
okay.
the chat there. Sorry, I should have said that. My fault. I thought I did. Yeah. So Robert said in the chat he thinks the 20 swerved a little bit coming out of the corner and called it a door check, and then he's had a correction. Rowdy had an engine failure in the real race.
But there's a bunch of conspiracy theories planning about what happened after this race. Based on the 18 having an engine issue, not this race.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a very exciting race so far. You see the pit truck is gone. The pace truck is gone. We are green flag racing.
We've already been back. Matt Long had a fantastic restart. A very John Delaney-esque restart here. Although that being said, John Delaney has kind of been chasing him down just a little bit. He's been kind of quicker throughout the corners this first lap, even though Matt Long got a very good restart here. So Delaney might just have something to do.
Yeah, no, that was a great start there for John Delaney. Great start for Matt Long. I think Matt Long has just been sitting back there watching John Delaney and says, you know, it's my turn now. I'm going to go ahead and try it as well. Able to get a good start. They're both on fresh tires here as we see Stout up into third place, holding strong. Higginbaugh is in fourth. Blake Iglio in fifth. Murray in sixth. Roots in seventh. Hall eighth. Hutchison ninth. Taylor rounds out your top 10. So we're going to go ahead and follow along with Medeiros here as Robert said that it's part of his line to get loose out of that turn there. So we'll go ahead and watch his line here and see how it goes.
I can understand him getting loose out of the corners. The setup I ran was very loose at the exit of the corners, whether I was rotating the corners or not. But I don't know, ever since we've been watching him, he's kind of had a very stable exit of the corner. So
yeah, I was
may
having
have some conspiracy theories here.
I was having a lot of trouble coming out of four myself, so and I think that's where a lot of these incidents have been happening, is coming out of four. So longer stints, maybe. Oh, he gets into the wall there.
That's not good. It's add that one to the accumulated damage counter.
Oh yeah, he's got quite a bit going on there. That's for sure.
Adam Benefield's been kind of running towards the back of the pack here. Qualified in ninth spot here, and is now running in 13th. So this is not running as strong as he probably should be, from what he understands.
Steele, one position up on him, is up 16 spots. I know Kevin Steele definitely needs to hope for a win, an overall win here to get to continue on the championship for the chase here. But still, great outing for Steele. Kept his nose clean, up 16 spots from his starting position.
Yeah, and he needs that. He needs to do more than just finish 16 spots where he started. At this point, he has to go and win this race. And right now, he is not showing me that speed. But Kevin Steele has surprised me before, so you can't just fully rule him out quite yet.
Yeah, no, definitely can't rule anybody out this early into the stage 3. But yeah, just wanted to give a shout out, even though he has an Demarius Hickenbon up 13 spots too. Also, you know, he's another person that needs to really get a win there. Not showing the speed, not showing the pace. Oh, yeah, okay, my timing is acting up again. So, yeah.
I'm sorry
about that, guys.
Bad news.
No, I promise you, I'm seeing on my screen. It's maybe I need to share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at.
I have a lot of monitors. I don't have enough monitors for that.
Maybe next time. I'll just, you know what, I'm just going to ignore my, you ignore my live timing. I'll just use it to get people's names from now on. Back to our regular scheduling program. Let's see. Matt Long must have a great short pace again because he's pulled out a 2-second lead there just in the last couple minutes. So we've seen Delaney have good medium to long pace. Matt Long really getting out of a jump there. They're both on brand new tires, so it's interesting to see if this is a strategy call here or if this is just John Delaney kind of just sitting back and letting those tires come to him, letting that setup come to him.
Also entirely possible that he could have just figured something out, kind of running to chase some of these drivers down when he took fresh tires, or maybe even earlier, and he's kind of figured out how to use his setup to kind of give him a better advantage out the corners.
Yeah, no, definitely running a nice clean line here.
He's constantly out timing Delaney here throughout the corners. We'll see how it goes this time by on lap 269. Wow, pretty good so far for Long, and he's pulling away. Wasn't surprised to see him maybe get into that 3-second mark, but the question is, we know Delaney kind of has a long run vehicle. The question is just how long run of a vehicle does he have? Because right now he's pretty good in second spot. Taylor Stout in third, Bryson Hixenbach in fourth, and RJ Root currently in fifth.
Yeah, but we see Long. He's very consistently in those low 15.2s, 15.3s. That's a very consistent, very steady number. You know, he's ruining his tires, like you said. These tires can go a long distance. We do know John Delaney has a long run car, but I don't think he wants to stick that far back. You know, once Matt Long starts catching some traffic, maybe Delaney starts catching him back up like he did with Hixenbach earlier in the race. But you know, right now Matt Long is looking really strong out there, and if we stay green for a while, that's really going to be an advantage to him. It's going to mix up the field, and it's going to make things very interesting towards the end.
Indeed, we're already past halfway here in this race. 25 or 24 laps past halfway. We've only been driving here for about an hour and a half right now. So realistically, the rate these guys are going, this race will be done well before the 3-hour mark here tonight, which means we don't really have that much time remaining if you're any driver that isn't named Long or Delaney, because you have less than an hour and a half to kind of figure your car out and get you in a winning spot.
Yeah, this has been an incredibly smooth race. I know we've had a couple cautions, but for the most part, we've been pretty solid with these green flag runs. It's really moving along. It doesn't feel like we've been here for an hour and a half. It feels like we've only been here for about 30 minutes. So
yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been here that long.
No, it doesn't. You say an hour and a half, it doesn't feel like.
Yeah, I know we were talking earlier, or at least I was talking earlier about seeing if there was a way that the 100% Racing League could somehow catch up to the current lap counter that the Real Life Cup guys are going. And from the last update I got, they were about 325 laps into this 500 lap race, and we're only 279 laps. From my understanding, there's been quite a few cautions going on in that race, so if it keeps up, we may possibly catch up to them before this race is over.
Yeah, especially if we get a really long green flag run here. As we follow along with the lead. Let's see if we have any battles going on kind of towards the midfield. I see Giglio, Hall, and Hutchison and Murray are pretty close together there. Let's see if we can get some midfield action going here.
Take a look, see where they're going. They're all single file up. Let's take a look through the back here a little. We're seeing Adam Benefield getting past the number 38, who is a lap down at this moment. Speaking of lap down vehicles, there are 17 drivers on the lead lap, 18th and back are at least one lap down. But the rest of the field, everybody kind of seems single file. There's not really much passing going on. And if there is side-by-side battle, it's usually at this point like lap down drivers moving out of the way.
Yeah, no, it's been kind of a quiet stretch here, but that's good for the leaders. You know, they're able to keep their strategy, make their strategy work. As we see AJ Root on the inside here, Stout 3 wide down the straight. Stout got loose there, was able to keep a hold of it. We had the 59 who's a lap down, but RJ Root up into 4th place, and Stout is really getting loose there. I wonder if that's something to do with the setup, kind of going away from him there for the middle part of the stage here. Giglio is right up on his bumper too. Gonna take the outside line, see if he can make it work around the outside. Just as we were saying, it was kind of calming down. There's some action.
Yeah,
Giglio was
Sauter's
able to
been
make the
struggling,
move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder if that's got to be setup related.
It's entirely possible, yeah. I know that the setup I ran last night was very loose, unstable in the beginning, but then towards the end it tightened out.
Yeah, the default setting was definitely just loose. Just in general, just loose. It felt horrible. So I don't really. It wasn't exactly a great.
If you want to understand how loose the setup I was running, the default setup was very tight for me.
Okay. Yeah. No. Then. Yeah. There you go. But like I said, I'm learning these next gen cars. I'm nowhere near. I think maybe I'm 1,000 right now. I'm still learning that stuff. So the next gen.
1,000 what?
Isn't my IR. I'm pretty low. So.
Oh no, that's understandable. My IR is, I think it's like 500 more than yours, but for a majority of my time in iRacing, I was kind of dipping below the 1,000 mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm feeling out these next gens. I haven't done a full season in the next gen. I just finished my first full season in the Porsche Cup car. That was.
You want to know a secret? I don't think anybody here has finished a full season with the next gen car.
Well, hey, okay, fair enough. But
you're not that far behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put some more time into it. But yeah, like I said, I'm still learning all this. I really enjoy the next gen cars. It's tough to drive though. It is definitely an experience.
You're right about that. Why don't you take over for a little bit to take care of a small issue here?
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and we do what's the
Oh, you know what? That's like a good idea. Why don't we go ahead and why don't we go ahead and bring the noise here up a little bit? Take a small little break as we listen to some of these drivers going on side by side. So we'll be right back here.
And welcome back, everybody, to the 100% Cup Series race here at Bristol. Round 3 of the chase, our last race of the final 16. We will be dropping four drivers from our list here of 16 drivers to cut down to 12 at the end of tonight. So unfortunately, for a couple of these drivers, it looks like Robert Anderson is already out. Kevin Steele and Demarius Hickenbottom really need to work their way up towards the front here to get a win. You see Demarius Steele in 10th place. I'm sorry, Demarius Steele. Kevin Steele in 10th place there. Dustin Hall doing pretty well up into 5th place there. He has a strong chance of making it because Hutchison is down in the 5th place, or 15th place, and they are tied. Carlos, what have you been seeing so far?
Well, what I've been seeing is that Matt Long's lead has kind of stalled out. He got to about 3.5, 3.6 seconds, and since then, it's been kind of hovering around that 3.5 mark. If we take a look at the last couple of laps, we'll see that it's been kind of fluctuating between Long and Hickenbottom. But when Hickenbottom is able to get faster laps than Long, he's kind of being able to kind of like kill that advantage that Long has been kind of getting. So it'll be interesting to see if Hickenbottom can catch back up to the bumper of Long before they have to do green flag pit stops, if we do get to do that at all.
Yeah, we saw just a second there the 00 car of Demarius Hickenbottom. He is a lap or two down, got on the outside and was able to get away from Matt Long there. So clearly Matt Long's pace is coming off. He's fallen off a little bit. Hickenbottom is starting to kind of chip away at that lead. And then we're going to be running into some lap traffic here too, so it should be interesting to see what happens here for the next.
You may have to take over for a little bit because we have to run on our backup redundancy graphics, which are also do not appear to be working. Fantastic.
All right. Well, we are having some technical issues, but we are going to get it all figured out. We are going to go ahead and continue here as we see him going almost 3 wide. These cars are all kind of on the lap down spot here. DeCiani, O'Brien, Van der Zandt, they're all lap down there. Looks like Marius Hickenbottom really has, or Hickenbottom, sorry, Marius. Demarius Hickenbottom really has quite a strong pace here as we see the 29 car get loose there, but he's able to correct it. He's able to save it. Try to get our graphics back up. See, those are the old school graphics.
Yep. You're going to work with those for a little bit while I fix the other ones.
All right. Well, everybody, at least we have the graphics back up. We see Hickenbottom has cut down that lead a little bit, showing about 3 seconds there behind Matt Long. So he is definitely chipping away as we see 3 wide. 3 wide through turn 2 there, or turn 4 there. You see the 65 is getting loose. The 96 is still up high. He's going to be able to make this run. No, he's not. The 65 is able to contain that. Keep to the bottom line here. But Demarius Hickenbottom is really making some strides here. Unfortunately, I can't exactly tell where he is currently on track. I know he's at least 1 lap down, but he's definitely got some pace here.
Oh, Demarius,
falling off on the front.
I apologize. Demarius about 5 laps down. During our crank it up, he did go down pit road to get fresh tires. So that is why he's moving up quickly. Okay.
That makes a lot of sense then, because all of a sudden out of nowhere, he has just had more pace than the rest of the field. So that's, I knew he was at least 1 lap down, but you know, with such a short track here and a long pit lane, I mean, you're basically doing the entire lap at pit speed. It definitely is going to put you down a few laps. As we see here, he's, like you said, about 5 laps down. And it looks like I'm starting to get some of the graphics back. Are these not correct?
They're correct.
They're not showing on your end.
They're just not showing up on my end.
Okay, so I can trust these graphics, though? Okay,
yeah, you
cool.
should be able to trust those graphics.
I'm seeing right now, I'm looking at Medeiros in 11th, Root 12th, Stout in 13th, Amon in 14th, Hutchison is in 15th. O'Brien is in 16th, Marty's in 17th, Vanders in 18th, Hodgson in 19th.
There we go.
20th, and we are back live. Great save, Carlos. That was excellent work, buddy. We are live. We are alive.
See, most of the time you guys don't even really You guys don't even really need to. You guys probably don't even notice the fact that that there's issues going on. Sometimes the graphics will go away, and then I'll have the backup graphics, and then you guys will not really notice it too much. Unfortunately, today it's one of those cases where I have to pull double duty, and it's very hard for me to talk and fix things at the same time.
Which, by the way, you are pulling double duty and you're doing a great job of it. So much appreciation to you, Carlos. I couldn't do it. You definitely handling it very, very well. And I'm happy to be here with you, man. It's been a great experience for me.
Yeah, it's fun to be here too as well. Of course, nobody here can replace the great Andre Grambush, but you know, and I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to have fun, commentate while he's taking care of some last minute issues that came up.
Yeah, I mean, real life happens. It happens to all of us. So, unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back next week.
Oh yeah, he's excited to be back next year. Next week, I should say. Next week, start race
Texas,
1,
right?
Start of round 12.
Yeah, Texas Motor Speedway.
Texas is not necessarily a fun track for a lot of the drivers and a lot of people watching, but it's still fun to start a new set of 3 races.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're gonna be down to 12 drivers left in the chase. We see Medeiros is coming down pit road. Did Medeiros have an incident there? It looks. Maybe that's
Not that I'm aware of. This could just be green flag pit stops, but it's still very early to do that. And while we did mention of what's going on here so far, oh my goodness, who's that? Is that the 40? Is that the 57 again?
Save though. He was able.
What?
I can't believe he got away from that. How was he able to miss all 3 of those cars? They just, it was like parting the seas. That was incredible save.
So something happened to Cameron Stone. He just got all loosey-goosey. Let's see what happened. Ooh, same thing again. And wow, some slight contact, but that's really nothing for him and for the other drivers. But wow, what a fantastic job. What a skilled driver to be able to not like make that much worse than it could have been.
Yeah, that was a great save. Got a little contact there, but able to keep it out of the wall, keep it out of the other drivers, other cars. And away he goes, still in 9th place. Great save. Great driving by Cameron Stone. That was incredible.
Okay, taking a look.
Can't believe we caught that too, because we never would have seen
Yeah,
it.
it's just, once again, we just barely caught that. Both of the times that we barely caught something, it did involve the 57 of Cameron Stone.
See, Delaney is catching back up. He's gotten around Hixenbaugh. He's catching back up to Long, so we know Delaney has that long run pace. He's really starting to show it here. He's got that gap down. Not only did he get around Hixenbaugh, but he got the gap to Matt Long down to just over a second. So we should be seeing interesting battling up front coming up here soon. Stout, RJ Root battling it out. That's for 12th spot. Stout is going to take the inside line. So you see the 5 car of Hammer right along with Taylor here. Taylor is up in the top 10.
You wanna take a look at the standings, specifically second place, and let me know what's something shocking you're noticing right now.
Specifically, second place.
Yeah.
What, RJ Root being down in 12th place right now?
Oh yeah. Wait, what did happen to RJ Root? Why is he in 12th place?
Well, he started from the back of the field, and he's
Yeah, but he was in the top.
his way
He
up.
was in the top 5 at one point, wasn't he?
He was, but I think that was before one of the cautions, and I think he.
Oh right, yeah. No,
I think that had more to do with strategy than anything.
Yeah. No, you're right. Sorry, I forgot that happened. No, I'm talking about Jonathan Delaney and his under 1 second difference between him and Long. When earlier we were talking about 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, no, he got around Hixenbaugh, and he's really closed that gap down to under a second now. He is right there, and there is some lap traffic coming through here. A lot of these cars have already pit, so they're going to have fresher tires, so they shouldn't be too much of an issue. But he is really getting that. He's right up on the back of him, only 0.6 down, almost half a second. He is just gaining up on Long like there's nobody's business. It's like a bat out of hell here.
Oh yeah, and this is what we were talking about. We were talking about how Delaney did have those fresh tires Excuse me, sir. Wow, pardon me, I was so wrong. We were talking about how Delaney has that long run speed, and he's making it play once again. Of course, traffic isn't helping Long, but that being said, he's still been gunning him down. Delaney has.
Yeah, he had a 3.5, almost 4-second lead on the entire field, and it's clearly down to that is an awesome airbender right there. Oh man.
I forget about this all the time, but every time behind the scenes, I'm always laughing every time I see this image.
Airbender with the last airbender with the shades on. It's that's gangsta. It's gangsta. Yeah. So the 97 really losing pace here. So only got about 4/10 up on John Delaney here. Jonathan Delaney is really. I mean, they've both broken away from Higginbotham, but that might be more to do with traffic than anything else. As we see, yeah, RJ Root coming down pit lane here.
We were talking about this green flag pit stops. It's starting already, although I think it's a little too early, but whatever's working for these guys, it seems.
Yeah, and we think, or I think, Matt Long is probably going to have to stretch this stint out as long as he can. Since he did the short stint on those tires earlier, he's going to be down a set of tires.
He's going to be down a set of tires, but I don't think it's going to matter too much for him.
No? Okay. Yeah, well, they get 9 sets plus the one they start on, so yeah, that should actually work out to quite a bit.
And while there hasn't really been too many cautions, there has been a decent amount of cautions. The majority of the cautions that came out were relatively quickly within a couple laps of a recent green flag stop, or sorry, recent pit stop. So it hasn't really been put into the driver's hand to kind of have to choose between tires and track position, with very small exceptions. So at this point, where we have less than 150 laps to go, a lot of these guys.
Going to the pits.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have extra sets of tires that they can gamble with. But yeah, Higginbotham's going down pit road right now.
If we get any late cautions, it's definitely going to work in their favor. They'll be able to jump into the pits for some fresh rubber.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I really don't expect anybody out here to be low on tires towards the end of the race.
See just how much.
Oh man!
Oh, that's going to be a caution.
Caution is out between the 1 and the 8, and this is what I talked about. Drivers coming in hot with fresh tires, and these not traffic, but these drivers and old tires kind of having to hope that they don't get involved in incidents. And we saw it right there, an incident between Hall and Root. And these are two drivers that did not want to get involved in incidents.
Yeah, Root had just come out of the pits there.
Oh, the one actually got loose at the exit of the corner.
Yeah. 96 also gave him a little tap there. It wasn't anything to do with the 96. He just didn't have a place to go. But yeah, no, that was just an unfortunate little accident there. One gets loose. Was there a little love tap from RJ Root there?
There was contact right before he got loose, but I really do not know if that's what caused him to get loose or not. No, actually there wasn't. The one just got loose on its own.
Right. Yeah. Just an unfortunate accident there. But hopefully they don't have too much damage, but this is going to work into some of those leaders' favors. We see everybody coming down pit road. Unfortunately for RJ Root, this would have worked out for him nicely if he wasn't involved in the accident.
Yeah, and this is something that I initially thought that Root was the issue, the person that caused this incident, but that wasn't the case, and that's just really sucks for him, because he now he's stuck multiple laps down. He's not just stuck one lap down; he's multiple laps down. That being said, though, he is locked in for the next round, so he's not really sweating too hard right now.
No, it's just unfortunate for him. He was having quietly having a great race, solid run, and just unfortunately he got involved in that little incident there. But we see Stout right now currently showing in first place. Nope, he's coming into the pits. So yeah, Matt Long is going to continue to be our leader here. So that worked out for Matt Long. He was getting caught down by Delaney, who we know has that long run pace. But Matt Long and Delaney are going to be 1-2 with Adam Bettafield in third. This might change a little bit, but maybe not.
Yeah, we'll see. But we're going to take a small quick break before the next restart here of the night. I know it says first caution, please disregard that. Unfortunately, when SDK crashes it, and you return it back on again, it loses all previously heard information, health information. So I apologize for that. But we'll see you guys in a little bit here for this next restart. Green flags back out, and the number 97 of Matt Long is once again taking a nice commanding lead, following what Jonathan Delaney has been doing pretty much all night long. But Delaney is no longer the leader, and with less than 150 laps to go, he's got to figure out some way to get ahead of that number 97 truck. But right now, Blake Giglio is battling on his outside, and it's going to be clearing the number 6, Jonathan Delaney. We did mention that Delaney does have a long run car, and there's still plenty of laps for him to get going. But Blake Giglio has entered the mix. Does he have anything here for Matt Long?
Yeah, I mean, we see quite a bit of pace here coming out from almost out of nowhere. We haven't really talked too much about Giglio. He's been kind of quietly sitting back in the top 10, top 15, just kind of hanging out. But now he's in second place. He's got quite a bit of pace. He's 4/10 back from Matt Long, and we're going to see if he can put any pressure and maybe make him move up into first.
Yeah, and Blake Giglio is a driver who is currently 40 spots to the good coming into the night. So once again, another one of those drivers that's pretty much kind of locked in. And at this point, with a majority of the drivers with the drivers that have pulled off from the race, and with the stages already being over, at this point he's essentially locked into this next round.
Yeah, it's pretty safe to say with 44 points, he's pretty much safe and secure. I know we said it earlier, but unfortunately Robert Anderson's night is done. Kevin Steele, he's currently in 8th place, but he really needs that overall win, which, I mean, it could still happen. Like I said, he's in 8th place. He's not too far back. You've seen him. He's been consistent tonight, staying out of trouble. But, you know, he really... yeah, that was a little bit of contact there, but everything seems like it's going to be fine. That's the 29. The 29 looks like it's really got some pace there. Yeah.
A lap down and went down pit road. It looks like he's having connection issues. He disappeared for a hot minute, and he pulled off the track.
Yeah, no, he's definitely blinking a little bit. So as we missed the pass for Blake Giglio and Matt Long. Giglio is up into first place. Do we have a replay for that?
As a matter of fact, we sure do. Let's take a look at that replay. There was a little bit of a battle here. Takes in the outside line, gets that car nice and rotated, gets a smooth arc. Actually, Long gave him the outside line again. That's a little bit surprising. Was able to get side by side again before he fully did clear him off. So about 2 laps, or 1.5 laps worth of excitement there.
Yeah, he was just smoothly taking over there. Just like you said, Matt Long gave him the top line. He was all about it. Seems like that's the line he wants to run anyway. So he's just able to get the move done over 2 laps, make it nice and clean. We'll see if he can hold on now, because now he's got Matt Long right on his tail. Both of these cars seem to be very quick on the early runs, as Matt is really on his tail now. Really going to be making him sweat. Blake Giglio takes the high line, comes back down to block.
I think,
in the middle.
I think while Blake is giving Matt the inside lane, nothing's going to be happening between these two. Should for any reason Long gets to his outside, then there may be a legitimate battle for the lead here.
Yeah, I mean, there's only about a tenth or two separating these two cars. Right now, it's which lane is Blake Giglio willing to give up? And like you said, stays on the inside, it's not going to be as easy to pass as it is if he can get the high line and keep his momentum going down the straights.
Well, right here, we just passed the halfway mark of this second half of the race. So we just ran 125 laps, and we have 125 laps remaining, not 124. So with all these laps remaining, there's still enough time for a John Delaney long run to happen. But if another quick caution comes out, then John Delaney's possible chance at winning or his chances may decrease a lot, since his vehicle kind of struggles a little bit compared to the other competitors ahead of him, and he's not in the lead anymore. So at this point, if he's not in the lead with like 8 or so laps to go, and we have another quick caution, that could spell disaster for Delaney.
Yeah, Delaney really has to hope that this stays green if he's going to have a chance at taking a win here. That 57 car quietly moving up into third place. Cameron Stone, yeah. Great run for Cameron. He's had an up and down night, but consistently staying, keeping his head down, and yeah, up into third place. Great run for Cameron. Cameron Stone currently sitting at 24 points, so definitely helping his chances out to continue on the chase, especially if he can stay up here towards the front of the pack, you know, pick up a podium, possibly even a chance at a win here. Very strong run.
You know, earlier into this race, I probably wouldn't have thought that would have happened. No offense to Cameron Stone or Robert, but the contact that we saw him take with the 11 seemed very significant. I legit thought his day was done, let alone running in the lead lap. But now he's back in the podium. He's in third place right now, and he has a pretty good shot at you know, getting a top 5, let alone a win.
Yeah, no, he's got a nice steady pace going right here. He's a couple seconds off the first and second, but we know that Matt Long has had really fast short end speed, and we know he starts falling off there towards the end. So it'd be interesting to see if Matt's setup is more geared towards a middle to long run, and see what happens here as we get a little further into this run. As long as we stay green, it should make things very exciting.
Yeah, well said. Taking a look, see what else could be happening. Bristol is a very long run type of race with this league historically, and that means the battles kind of get separated, the drivers get spread out, and I should say the battles don't really tend to be that much battles as the race kind of thins out, as the field kind of thins out as well. We only have 11 drivers on the lead lap, but I don't expect us to have another everybody gets lapped by the leader type of races that we've seen before here at Bristol. But it's still very thin amount of drivers that are actually competing here for a race win here tonight, and that means the battle's kind of spread out a lot.
Yeah, well, we only have 11 cars on the lead lap right now, so it's still a possibility. That is not quite out of the window yet. Coming down to just over 100 laps left. Got about 112 laps here. It's definitely going to come down to the end here. Blake Giglio is starting to pull away a little bit from Matt Long. He's opened up about a half a second lead on him. Cameron Stone is falling back a little bit. Jonathan Delaney is really falling off pace here, but we know Jonathan Delaney has got those long run speeds. So
he's got the long run speeds, but I don't think he has 6.5 seconds worth of making up in the long run speed. We saw before that caution came out, it was about 100 or 90 to 100 laps on that run, and Delaney was able to catch up that deficit mostly from 3.5 to 4 seconds back, but 6.5, maybe 7 by the time he starts getting up to speed compared to the rest of the drivers. It's probably cutting it a little close.
Yeah, that's definitely a tall order, and as we see, we're gonna probably. Well, what do you think? Do you think they're going to need to make another stop here? Do you think they're going to stay? It looks like Cameron touched the wall there a little bit.
Not that I can see. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at our race leader currently, Blake Piglio. Went down pit road on lap 357. 357. It's time to do some math. 357. How many laps? 500 minus 357. That's going to be 150,
about 100,
right?
143 laps.
Yes, they can make it the rest of the way on fuel, but can they do it on tires?
And I mean, that could also be a strategy thing. Do you want to risk going down a couple laps just to have those fresh tires towards the end? Or do you want to just stay out front and hope that you can hold on to them?
If a caution comes out, you're going down pit road.
Well, that's yeah, obviously. If a caution comes out, then yeah, you're going to take the pit. But if we stay green, at what lap do you start thinking, hey, you know, there's only about X amount of laps left. Maybe it's worth the risk. You know, do you do it with 70 laps left? Do you do it with 80 laps left? 60 laps left? Or do you just try to hold on?
Honestly, I would set it up. I would split it in half. That's what I would do. I don't know what the leaders would do, but it also kind of really plays with your setup. If you're Delaney, you're going to want a short pit. But if you're Giglio or Long that has, or I should say Long kind of has a very strong short run setup and a decent medium long setup, a decent medium to long run setup, maybe pit a little bit later. But it depends on really what the circumstances are right now.
Yeah, so if you're Jonathan Delaney, you're thinking sooner the better because you have that long run speed, and he is just losing time now. He's lost about almost 8 seconds now. We were talking about 6.5 seconds, 7 seconds just a moment ago, and now he's almost 8 seconds back. Cameron Stone, almost 4 seconds back. Matt Long, almost a full second back. Blake Giglio is really starting to pull away from the pack here. We haven't seen him in open air too much this evening, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of pace he has on this long run.
And the pace just hasn't been there for Delaney this time by. It's just been like a flip of the switch. Delaney running strong, very strong to start the race off, and somewhat mostly strong towards the middle half of the race. And then this last 150 miles, it's like as if the temperature or something has changed so much that has put his setup to just not be able to perform like his car normally has been doing.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how far off he's fallen. I'll take a look here.
Because Murray's right behind him now.
The track temperature is at 88 degrees, so the track temperature has fallen down a little bit. Yeah, 83 degrees.
Where'd you get 88
track
from?
temperature.
Oh, 88 track. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, air temperature is 83, track temperature 88. So it's not the hottest track in the world right now. So you are going to see, you know, the differences in setup are definitely going to come into play. So maybe he had his long run setup based more on a hotter track. Now that the track's kind of cooling off a little bit, he's starting to lose pace here because he's got the 28 of Murray right on his back bumper here now. So Murray is moving up on him.
Yeah, Murray's right there. He's been there for a little bit too.
Hoytsma, unfortunately, involved in an earlier incident. His race has been kind of compromised. Still able to put some laps in, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to improve too much on his position. Lucky for Hoytsma, though, he's right on that cusp. He might be able to kind of stick it out. Pretty much, unless Kevin Steele or Demarius Hickenbottom win, I think Hoytsma's pretty much locked in.
Yeah, I can see that being a possibility for sure.
I think right now it's a call between Dustin Hall, Ralph Hutchison, and
Kevin in the back, caution is out. 42 on the 7.
Nolan Hodgson and Wayne Grassi. That is unfortunate. Let's see if we can get a replay here. 42 car. Comes up into him, yeah.
I'm sure the 20 is very excited to have not been involved in this one.
That was a strange incident. Did he just lose control? Like, did he just lose traction there? He was pretty far down the track, and he goes
No,
up
he just
pretty
came
high.
up naturally. He just came up a little too much.
Yeah, right. Unfortunate. Big hit with the inside wall by the stepping there. So we're probably going to see all these leaders. Yeah, here comes Blake. Here comes Matt. Cameron is in. Jonathan Delaney is in. Murray, yeah, everybody's going to come in. It doesn't make any sense not to pit now.
No, everybody has a pit at this point. We're going to have less than 90 laps to go when we restart realistically 86, 87 laps remaining in this race. So those laps are going to go by pretty quickly. We're already past the 400 lap mark. Honestly, at this point,
that caution?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, sorry. That's okay. I was going to say, at this point, I don't think that Delaney has the car to win today.
Well, I was going to say that caution might actually work in Delaney's favor. Really? He might be able to make an adjustment here. You know, we've seen him on those long runs. Maybe he's got some sort of adjustment up his sleeve he can make work out for him to get back on the pace. Bringing him back, you know, he doesn't have to make up that 8-second gap any longer. So it might work in his favor here. We do know that he was... Yeah, and Matt Long was able to beat Blake Giglio out of the pits. Our new back into the lead, I should say, is Matt Long.
Yeah, back into the top.
Stone, Mountain 3, Laney in 4th, Murray in 5th. Let's see here. Yeah, back in the top spot, Matt Long. But yeah, we should have a nice... oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, we're going to go ahead and take a small break before we get back to green here again.
Welcome back, everybody. We're gonna be, looks like the lights are out on the pace truck, so we will be coming to the green flag here momentarily as we come around the corner here. So Matt Long is back into first place. Blake Giglio is in second. Cameron Stone in third. Jonathan Delaney is in fourth as we see the cars here get a nice restart from Matt Long. Great start from Matt Long. He is up in front of the field here, and he is going to lead us away. We see a battle between Cameron Stone and Jonathan Delaney for third place here. Cameron has the inside line. Delaney has the outside line. Who's going to be able to continue? Oh, no. Looks like Delaney might have touched the wall a tiny bit there. And Cameron Stone was able to get the move done.
Yeah, at this point, whatever damage that Cameron Stone may or may not have, he is not repairing it. That car is going to be as best as it possibly can at this moment. Because with about 80 odd laps to go, 80 plus laps to go, I should say, Cameron Stone is locked into this top 5 finish, and he's going to be going out here and going to do the best he can to get that win. But right now, Matt Long is not really pulling away from Blake Giglio. We saw this last time. Blake got to his outside, was able to get by him relatively quickly, and then held on for a majority of laps before the caution came out. The 97 won the battle in pair row, but the 16 is back to his outside. I would not have given him that outside line.
Yeah, I'm really confused. The 97 let him go by on the outside again. If I was the 97, if I was Matt Long, I would have thrown the block up high and made him go low. Made him pass me on the inside.
It's also possible that Matt Long's car just can't run the outside.
Yeah, that's possible. We've seen him take it staying on the low line, so but you got to do something there. He's just getting past like he's standing still on that high line, so that's interesting.
Caution is out.
Right there.
And this one's actually mentioning names that I'm not even seeing right now on the current camera. So something else must have happened. Devin Medeiros and Bryson Hixenbaugh involved in this one.
Take a look to see what happened here.
Ooh, oh man. 20 and the 02. Yeah, there was definitely more we did not see. The 63
That was quite a bit.
involved the 0-0 of Damaris Hickenbottom as well. Take a look. This was I think this was the biggest incident of the night so far.
You can see quite a few cars have been involved in this one. Oof. Hickenbaum gets tapped there. Yeah, 2 cars come together. 2, 3, 4. About 5 or 6 cars are involved in this one. Oh, and
Hard
Hixenbaugh had been running. Yeah, he's inside of the 20 there. Hixenbaugh had been running up in the front there. That's a tough break for him.
Good thing for him though, he's locked in.
Yeah, he's our championship leader currently at the moment, so
he doesn't have too much to worry about. But we saw the 20 get involved, the 44 of Hiller, or Drum Hiller I should say, and the 7 also get involved in that one. You know, that doesn't actually seem too bad for Hixenbaugh.
Well, you say that, but he was literally inside of the 20 there for a minute. So
yeah, but that's the thing. He was
exactly
inside
sure.
of the 20. That means he kind of net coded through some of that heavy damage.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work out, but yeah, if he was able to stay away from some of that damage, then that it won't worry too much for him. But I mean, to be honest with you, Bryson Hixenbaugh, are you really too worried at this point in the championship? Obviously, you want to do well every single week, but you've got your ticket stamped for next for the round of 12. So I think right now you just got to kind of. Looks like Stone getting a little love tap there from Delaney.
Wonder if, excuse me, I wonder if something may have happened there.
Giving a little love tap there.
But, wow, excuse me, my throat's going bad. Well, we're just 5 laps this time by from 50 laps. Wow, excuse me, I'm not even close. What am I saying here? From 75 laps to go. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to let it go.
Yeah, I'm not good at math, so that's definitely not my strong suit.
So, believe we should be getting 1 to go this time by. The pace truck lights are off. So we're going to be going 1 to go here this time by with, right now, 75 laps to go, 74 laps remaining in this race. Giglio's strong. He's got the lead. And between the first 2 drivers, he's got the stronger short-run car. And we've seen him pull away heavily. I honestly think Giglio, unless he makes a mistake, this is his race to win. To lose, I should say.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of start he gets here, but we know he's got a decent mid to long run pace here, and he's got the inside line though. That's the only thing. Is he's been stronger on the outside, but he is going to go ahead and get us restarted here now, and he's going to get away cleanly, and he's going to be able to get up to the high line. Not a problem there. Matt Long is able to stay ahead here. Gonna hold off for second place as Cameron Stone is coming down the inside of Jonathan Delaney. Is he going to be able to get the move back into third place? It looks like he's going to have it. They're side by side coming into turn 2 here, and he's going to get the job done.
Yeah, great try by Cameron Stone. Once again, I really didn't think that his car would have been up to it after all that contact and damage. I know for sure the driver was up to it, but there's only so much the driver can do if the car is not willing to or unable to cooperate. But fantastic drive by Cameron Stone. Solid top 5 performance here tonight. Realistically has a decent shot at a podium. Not sure if he's got the car fully there for the win, but I wouldn't be shocked to see him win.
No, I definitely wouldn't be shocked to see him win, especially, persevering through everything that he's been through this evening. It would not surprise me at all to see him pull a win out of his hat. As we see, he's not too far off the lead here. Matt Long and Blake Giglio not getting as far away this time as they have recently in the past. So, not 100% sure we can really count anybody out, especially with Jonathan Delaney. If Jonathan Delaney is able to get that long run pace that he showed earlier, as he just got passed by Murray, so he's definitely fallen off again. So I'm not sure what happened with Delaney, but definitely has lost some pace.
Caution is out. 38 of Pierce is involved in this one. Oh, more drivers. A 42, 44 again, 77 again. Oh, man. See what happens. And all of these cautions just continue to not help Delaney.
No, not at all. I think there was an invisible car. No, there wasn't. That was just my computer. Yeah.
Oh, and the dive to get out of the way.
Ooh, the 7.
You didn't see that, but the 0-0 of Hickenbottom got involved in that one as well.
Yeah. The 7 cars have been involved in quite a few incidents tonight. Mostly no fault of their own. Gets down on the apron trying to go around and just straight up into the wall there.
Heavy damage for a lot of these drivers. We do have some drivers going down pit road. Battlefield, Murray, Amon, Hall, Taylor, and Steele have all gone down pit road. Everybody else has decided to stay out. So we're going to go ahead and take another quick break, and we'll be back to you for this next restart coming up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are going green here momentarily. The lights are out on the pace truck. We're gonna have Blake Giglio leading us down the front stretch here momentarily. Matt Long is in second place. Cameron Stone, third place. Jonathan Delaney in fourth place. Then we see Stout has gone up. Taylor Stout has gone up into fifth place. We got Ralph Hutchison in sixth place. We got Jason Taylor in seventh place. Alex Murray in eighth place. Adam Benefill in ninth place. We got Dustin Hall in 10th place. Ooh. And we are green. There is quite a bit of movement going on there.
Yeah, a lot. It's a much bigger separation than the last time, and Delaney has been able to get full advantage of his outside restart. Is climbed his way back up in front of the 57 of Stone and thought about getting outside the 97, but we know how hard his car is struggling here on the short run. We'll see if he actually was able to do anything there on the last stop a couple laps ago. Didn't show much here, but with those old tires cooling down a little bit, see if that's going to help him. Right now, he's actually staying and battling against the 57. It's finally been able to clear him, so maybe Delaney showing signs of life here right now as Giglio and Matt Long are currently 1 and 2, and actually a little shocked. Giglio hasn't pulled away as quickly as I thought he would have, but it's still very early here as we're getting closer to 50 laps to go here as we're on the 68 lap to go mark.
Yeah, we kind of saw that in the previous restart where Giglio and Long didn't get out to as big of a lead as they had earlier in the race. Delaney is definitely not letting them go, and Cameron Stone is right there with them. So you see Stout there too. Taylor Stout is hanging on too. The battle for third place between Cameron Stone and Delaney. Pretty strong battle there. But yeah, Giglio and Long are not getting away like they had earlier. Jonathan Delaney is right there, so we'll see if maybe this last caution kind of worked into his favor and he's able to make that long run speed work for him. See if he made any adjustments on that final caution.
Yeah, and right now Cameron Stone is closer to battling to hold on to that 4th place spot than he is battling for Jonathan Delaney. And in the meantime, everything kind of staying side by side, except for now Taylor Stout is going for it, trying to get into that 4th place spot, trying to get past Cameron Stone as Alex Murray isn't too far behind him.
Cameron Stone is definitely working pretty hard to keep that high line, keep that 4th place away from Stout. Just bringing Murray into the picture even further as Murray gets down a little close on the inside of the 89, unable to get a nose in there. The 89 is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place trying to get around Stone, but having to defend as well. So that's tough because it's definitely bringing this whole pack in together. We've got some close racing here coming towards the final 50 laps. You see Murray has got the inside on Stout. Stout's on the outside. Is he going to be able to make the move on Stone, or is he going to get eaten up by Murray? He's going to get the move on Stone, it looks like. Got it done. Great move by Stout.
Yeah, I gotta say, looking at the back of that Stout machine for a while, I love how it just says student driver. It's got warning signs in the back. But fantastic drive by Tyler Stout to get past Cameron Stone, now into 4th place, as Cameron Stone has managed to hold off the 28 of Murray there for a little bit, but Murray is still coming in very, very strong. But like I say, I'm very surprised right now. Blake Giglio is starting to pull away, but still not that much. Matt Long is, honestly, at this point, going to be holding off a hard charge from Jonathan Delaney here very late.
Yeah, this seems like it's really playing into Jonathan Delaney's strength here, especially if we get clean racing for the next 47, 48 laps here. It's going to be interesting to see if Matt Long can hold him off or if Blake Giglio can run away from this. It's going to be kind of a roll of the dice here from here on out.
Right now we're seeing Adam Benefield trying to get to the inside, and actually getting to the inside of Ralph Hutchinson as he's trying to get that spot. So does Kyle Amon getting to the inside as well. Not necessarily the best spot to do it, but he's in there, and he's following Benefield right there to that corner. As in that whole last lap, Hutchinson has lost 2 whole spots there. The 07 is right now multiple laps down, so he is not battling for this position or the win at this point, honestly.
Yeah, Ralph Hutchinson really seems like he wanted that low line, and just his car just isn't set up right now to take that high line. They were able to get down below him, and he was just a sitting duck up there.
Well, something must have happened because Delaney has now dropped from 3rd all the way down to 5th. He's lost 2 spots as Tyler Stout and Alex Murray has gone on past him, as now they're 3rd and 4th respectively.
Yeah, that is interesting. We saw Delaney was right on, really catching up to the back of Matt Long there. So
Dustin Hall's getting around too.
Replay of what happened. Yeah, but what is going on here? He went from having a very strong long run.
Yeah, well, it hasn't really been that much of a long run. He's shown some signs of strength there a little bit, but now those signs are gone away as the car looks like the car's turning up a little.
Yeah, no, he was so strong on those long runs, and now it's just kind of falling off on him the further we go into it. He had a strong short run there just now. Maybe he overcorrected a little bit on this pit stop. I'm not sure.
Well, we are sure right now that Alex Murray is looking to the inside of Matt Long here for 2nd spot. This could be a battle for the race lead at some point. Should Murray clear him quickly, and he does. Wow, that was very close to the outside wall. But Murray's running some fast laps, going to try to catch up to Blake Giglio, who's only almost a second and a half ahead of him.
Yeah, Alex Murray's quietly been running a very relaxing race. He's up 7 positions, but we haven't talked about him too much, kind of like Giglio earlier. But yeah, moving himself up into 2nd place here on a great run. Got about a second and just over a second to catch up to Giglio. We'll see if he can make up some time here. We are starting to get close towards the end here. Just under 40 laps left to go. So it's not going to be too much longer. If he's going to make a move towards the front, he's going to need to make it happen right now. Alex Murray.
He is making it happen so far.
Yeah, Alex Murray is currently 3rd in the chase points. So this is definitely helping his chances towards really moving up.
Oh yeah, remember Murray was essentially the first driver that wasn't locked in going into the night, so this is pretty good for him fully.
Yeah, this is great for him. And if he can knock a win out, that'd be even better.
That'll help him going into the next stage as well.
Yeah. Well, all 5 of the top 5 here are in the chase right now currently. Dustin Hall is the one that needs it the most. But every single one of these guys would be very happy to take this win into the next stage, the next round. It should be very interesting. We'll come down here just over 34 laps to go here. See, Murray is really caught up with that to Blake pretty quickly here. He's just on a tear.
Look at that. Hall also ran a great lap this last time by. Maybe he might have some speed after all. He's looking to the inside. This is what I expected the 97 to do when the 16 was constantly trying to battle for position. The 16's giving that 28 the inside line because he can't get that run on the exit. The 28 can't because he's running on the inside. So 16 is doing what he needs to, trying to hold on with about 32 laps to go remaining in this race.
Yeah, no, this is a great fight for the lead here. They've been very close together here. Obviously, Giglio is getting a little bit more of an exit here, but he's giving up that inside line to the 28 of Murray. I think Murray is going to get this move made here in the next couple laps. Oh, Blake Giglio got loose there, got tapped into Murray, but Murray is able to continue on. Giglio is able to continue on too. So, Murray's got some damage there on the front right. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely going to ruin Blake Giglio's chances here.
And you mentioned Murray had damage?
No, Giglio had damage. I think Murray got away with that one. I think Murray, obviously wasn't at fault there. Giglio got loose, but I think Murray got away without having any real damage.
See if we can find that here. Replay here and see just what happened. I think it was probably the next lap.
Yeah, we saw Giglio got loose a little bit there, but he's able to correct coming out of the turn before there. That's frustrating. Blake Giglio had a great run going. Now back in 4th place.
I mean,
still a solid run, but
between Murray, Hall, and Benefield, and I gotta say, they're looking mighty fast. Okay, well, except that time.
Hall is definitely not too far off here. The one car is 7/10 off, 8/10 off. He's got Benefield right behind him, but they are keeping Murray honest. And you never say never, but Dustin Hall has had a great run tonight. And this is exactly what he needed for his championship position. Got 24 laps to go here.
16 not having fun right now.
No, he's got to be upset now, especially after that. He had a great run going, and now his car is definitely showing quite a bit of damage there.
Right now, hopefully the 16 doesn't do anything to kind of jeopardize his race even further. Because right now you're running hot, the car's damaged, you're not having a good time because you probably feel that you made a huge mistake battling for the win. So this is right now the worst time to kind of lose concentration. And if a caution would come out, the highest chance of it being the 16 is pretty possible.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Right now, he's just got to keep a cool head, keep his car under him. You know, he's still on the lead lap. It's not the end of the world. You know, he's sitting in a solid position. He's going to make the chase for the top 12. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the season. So just breathe in. Just keep your head down. Finish this race up. We only got 20 laps to go. See, Murray is starting to enter some lap traffic here. That might bring Hall back into the picture, depending on how quickly Murray can get around his lap cars.
Alright, trying to see what else could be going on the track. We're going to keep an eye out here on this battle for the lead. And it kind of looks like it may be stalling out here. Yeah, even though Murray was going to traffic that time, he still kind of ran slightly faster lap time than Benefield.
Yeah, he was able to kind of squeeze between the two cars there. And there was a little bit of a sketchy moment, but he was able to make it work and got through traffic with no problem. Looks like he's going to be able to pull away here from Dustin Hall. Adam Benefield. Adam Benefield is not letting go of Dustin Hall's bumper, though. So this is the battle for second place. Definitely getting spicy here with 16 laps to go. As we see Benefield taking the inside line, he's going to get the move done. That was a very, very, very great pass. He just timed it perfectly. It looks like Dustin Hall is starting to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, we've been seeing Benefield kind of running some fast laps. And it looks like even with passing Hall, he still ran a faster lap time than Murray. So Murray may not just be out of the clear quite yet. We're going to take a look at this time by even faster. Hold on, Benefield might be coming here with less than 15 laps to go.
Yeah, just under two tenths faster. Yeah, he's definitely got a chance here with 13 laps. If he can keep that pace up, he's going on to the bottom there. That lap he wasn't quite as fast, but he's still got a chance here. Only about 6 tenths off. Come around for 12 laps to go. He was about a tenth and a half up, so yeah, he's definitely still making gains. About a half a second back, he's definitely making gains here.
At this point, he is going to get to the back of the 28, but can he actually pass him? That's the big question.
Yeah.
And nearly 2/10 of a second there, as the lead's been cut down to 0.3.
Well, we saw how quickly he was able to get around Dustin Hall there. He's able to take the inside line, and if Murray keeps giving him the inside line, I'm not sure Murray's going to be able to defend him. He is definitely, with 10 laps to go, coming around for 9 laps to go. This is not looking great for Alex Murray here. Adam Benefield is coming on strong here with just a couple laps left.
There we go, battling side by side here for the lead.
Ooh, is that lap car going to come into play?
It just might.
It's the 44 car.
So Randy Drumheller, we saw him involved in a couple incidents here tonight. So he is already wounded, and not only that, but you have the 16 going on lap down, he's pulling up to the side.
Good choice by Giglio. Getting out of the way. There's no reason to ruin anybody else's race. You're already in the chase. You're good to go. Oh, getting close there. 3 wide with the lap car. This is just intense here, coming down to the last 6 laps.
Unfortunately, it did not work out for Benefield that time by, and this time by he got a little loose off the corner. He lost some more time. We're going to go 5 to go here next time by.
Close back up that time. Like you said, he did get loose, so we'll see if he can hold it off of this corner. Yeah, he was able to hold it off of that corner that time. See here. It's neck and neck coming down the straight. It's getting real close.
Benefield may not have what exactly just he needs to kind of pass him on the inside. We saw him slightly get ahead on the exit of the corner, but quickly lose it again. As they're side by side this time, bad corner for the 28 of Murray. We'll see if Benefield can get that to work for him this time by. Pulling up slightly ahead, still not just quite there enough, going down to 3 and 4. Side by side, they go through the middle of the corner. Great rotation by the 28, but at the end, they both get loose. Wow, this would have been perfect for Benefield, but he got loose even harder than the 28 did. This is it, though. He's going to clear him this time by, no, not just quite yet. This time by the 83 is going to be clear well before the apex of the corner, and we have a brand new race leader in the 83 of Benefield with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, that was a very intense moment there. They both got loose with the 83 really having a huge oversnap there, but he's able to collect it, able to keep it calm, able to bring it around for the white flag, and out of nowhere, Adam Benefield bringing home the checkered flag, your winner here at Bristol. What a race.
Benefield got the lead with exactly 2 laps to go, almost getting a last lap pass for the win, but he timed it just a little bit too early for that. I don't think he's going to care, though, because he got that victory, and he's well on his way to round of 12 now.
Yeah, that was a great victory as we see him doing some donuts here. Very well deserved. We didn't talk about that Benefield too much. He was kind of quiet there for a while, but you know, he made the strategy work for him. He's up towards the front there, towards the last stint here, able to keep it up and able to get the win as we see him working with his teammate here. Great drive by Adam Benefield. What a great race there too. You know, side by side action in the last 5-6 laps, the whole way down. That was intense.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that 0-0 will probably not be advancing to the round of 12. But before I stand over to the side to work on some of the production stuff and you handle the interviews, let's go ahead and take care of the finishing results, just in case we lose the graphics here one more time. But Adam Benefield getting that win right at the last moment against Alex Murray. Fantastic drive to both of these drivers. Dustin Hall finishing in second, Calamon finishing fourth. Great finish there. Running well all night and then finishing very strong. Jason Taylor finishing fifth. Matt Long in sixth. Cameron Stone, he was battling for third and then dropped back a lot towards the very end. But I really did not expect this car to really continue after the damage he got. So finishing seventh is just outstanding regardless. Kevin Steele, strong, consistent night, but unfortunately that's probably will be it for his stage chances. Jonathan Delaney ran great the first 3 quarters of the race, and unfortunately the last quarter just started fading back a lot and ended up finishing in 9th, with Ralph Hutchinson finishing tonight's race in 10th.
Yep, from there we got Brixton Hicksonbaugh in 11th place. Taylor Stout coming out in 12th place. Blake Giglio in 13th place, your first lap car. Blake Giglio had a strong run there, but ended up having an issue there towards the end of the race. Must be frustrating for Blake, but he'll be back next week, I'm sure. Nolan Hodgson in 14th. Tanner Marty in 15th. Devin Medeiros in 16th. Alex Vandersant in 17th. Demarius Hickenbottom in 18th. Matt DiCiani in 19th. Sean O'Brien rounding out the top 20. Randy Drumhiller in 21st. Brandon Pierce in 22nd. Preston McRae in 23rd. Chad Sander in 24th. Lucas Hoitzma in 25th. Wayne Grassi in 26th. Raymond Root in 27th. Derek Heitman in 28th. Robert Anderson in 29th. Dalton Mobley in 30th place.
Yeah, and that's going to do it here for the final race results. And Michael, I'm going to go ahead and step over to the side while you go handle the interviews. But this was a fantastic broadcast. Yeah, let's see if we can bring up third place Dustin Hall. Let's see if we can bring him up here. Here we go. He's in the waiting room for you.
All right, cool. Dustin, third place, buddy. Great race. How do you feel?
Feel pretty good.
That was
insane.
Yeah, that was definitely what you needed. You were on the bubble there at the for the chase here, and it looks like with that third place, you're probably going to be securely into the top 12. So congratulations on that. Are you looking forward to Texas next week?
Texas is a tough one.
Yeah.
Completely 2 different ends of the racetrack. You got to be either set up to fly through 3 and 4, or set up for grip in 1 and 2, or try and balance between the 2. So it's a tough one to build for. Like you mentioned, coming into this race on the cut, Bristol and I have not been friends. So to get some stage points tonight and a good finish, heck, just finishing all the laps, that's a first for me. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, definitely solid. Not only to finish all the laps, but to get in the third. And you were actually pushing for a win there for a moment. Walk us through the last like about 20 or so laps. What was going through your head there?
Well, we noticed that our tire wear had really started to decrease as this track rubbered in. So rather than just sit there and ride and save, we thought we'd get after it a little bit harder. And I jumped it maybe about 5-10 laps a little too quick, and still toasted the right front tire off of it. But there for a while, we were gaining a tenth a lap on Alex. I thought we had a really good shot. Once I realized I lost all center turn, it was, hey Adam, I'm not going to get to him unless you get up there and battle with him. So I'm going to let you go, and we'll see if you can go get it. So worked out.
Well, that was definitely a great race from you, moving yourself up into competition for the chase for next week. I want to thank you for coming on and having a conversation with us. Did you want to shout out to anybody? Anybody at home watching?
Yeah, of course. I've got to definitely show some recognition to my family and friends for tuning in and watching. It's been a pretty heavy week for us. We lost my grandfather Friday night, last night. So, yeah, selfishly we're sad, but he's free from his body that was a prison these days. So, grateful to have him riding along shotgun with me tonight. And then always, you notice I've got childhood cancer awareness all over my car. We all recognize October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Not many people know September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and that color is gold. So from here on out, the rest of my life, I will be anything I'm racing or anything in September will be adorned in gold. For most of the people in this league, pretty much everybody in this league knows that I've got a nephew fighting terminal cancer, and the support from the league. Huge thanks to Damaris and Kevin, everybody in the league. You notice Jimmy Strong all over so many of these cars in this field, and a lot of appreciation for myself and my family for the support that we get from this league. And obviously thank you guys for broadcasting. 500 laps at Bristol and iRacing, that's a big undertaking. Hopefully we gave you a good show.
Oh no, it was a great race tonight. More than happy to be here, and it's a heartbreaking story. I'm kind of new to the 100% Cup series, so I'm kind of found out about that my first night, and that's just a gut wrenching. That's just horrible that anybody would have to go through that. So, I think we have the link up. So if anybody out there is watching, you want to go ahead and donate for Jimmy Strong. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, Dustin, tonight you guys had a great race. Solid finish there for you. And obviously, everything that you're going through, just thank you for coming and joining us tonight. And, stay strong. And, if there's anything out there, just let us know. But great race tonight, Dustin. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
Man.
Thank you, Carlos.
All right, everybody. That was Dustin Hall. Thank you, Dustin, for coming in with us. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our second place, Alex Murray here, if I can get it. There we go. Alex, second place. Congratulations on your drive tonight.
Thanks. Yeah, I thought I had a win sealed up there, and Adam came out of nowhere and tried to fend him off as best I could, but he was just better, safe tire better, and got it with 2 to go. Burnt the right rear off of it, trying to keep him behind me, and that's what I get for not being patient enough. But all in all, a really good night for us, and moving into the second round of the playoffs, I think we're going to carry some momentum and hopefully move into the round of 8.
Yeah, you got to be frustrated by not getting the win, but a second place is obviously a strong finish there. You had a great run going, and that battle there at the end between you and Adam was just epic. You had about 6 or 7 laps there that were just side by side. What was going through your head there? Were you trying to keep the high line, or were you trying to move down to the to the inside line? Like, where did you want to place your car the most at the end there?
I knew if I went to the bottom, I'd get tight. So before Adam even got there, I moved to the top, and I made them choose where they were going to go. And in the end, it didn't work out. But tried to pull the Noah Gragson and hold him off on the outside, and it just didn't work tonight. So, but I think next time we come here, we'll we'll definitely know what to do to the car. We struggled a bit early in the race, and so now I think we know where we need to go moving forward for next year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you are talking about moving forward for next year, but you're sitting in third place in the championship right now this year. So, are you looking forward to next week? How do you feel about Texas?
I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be here for Texas, to be honest with you. I'm racing in real life, so I'm
Oh.
not sure if I'll make it. But if I make it, I'm looking forward to it. If not, then I'll be looking forward to watching it. That's for sure. And obviously, anything can happen in the next 3 races. So carrying the momentum will be nice, and hopefully we can get a setup worked out and get up front again.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Alex. Do you got anybody you want to shout out to?
Yeah, Clips, BD Technology Group, BRTV, everybody that puts the work in during the week at Prodigy Esports, and obviously my family for supporting this, and my girlfriend, and everybody that is a fan. I don't know if I got any fans, but if there's fans out there, got to thank the fans. Yeah, you got to thank Adam for racing me clean there. He easily could have doored me and put me up in the fence for everything like that. So, fun, clean battle, never touched each other, and congrats to him on the win.
Yeah. Well, Alex, where are you racing next week?
I'll be at GoPro Motorplex racing the go-kart.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Alex. Congratulations on your second place. Good luck next week, and hopefully we'll see you back here soon.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Second place, Alex Murray, everybody. Now we're going to go ahead and bring in our winner. First place goes to Adam Benefield. Adam, that was an epic battle there towards the end. Tell us what happened there. Walk us through those last 5 laps there.
It was, I mean, I felt like I was going to get to him. It was, I don't know, it was rolling the bottom really good. And I was able to use all the racetrack, so I had a feeling I was going to get to him. Long run all night, I was a little bit better. And I don't know, once I got there, like, once I was getting closer, I was trying to figure out a way to how I was going to try to get by him, because I wasn't going to be able to use all the racetrack on exit to, get it done. So I tried it, it didn't work. And I noticed when we passed the lap cars and we got clear of him, he went straight back up to the top. So I got a run on him, went to his inside, and I drove it in a little deeper, kind of backed up the center a little bit to get it to point down the racetrack, and I just matted it, and realized, it had drive off for days, so I realized that worked, and I gained on him a good bit. So going down the straightaway, I jacked all the brake bias to the rear, and I was like, if this is going to work, if we're going to make this work, it's going to be doing it this way, and hopefully the right front will stay with me until I can get clear. And finally, I was able to get it, to execute it, and I don't know, man. It was insane. I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off without, making contact, but I was going to do everything I could to try to get it done without touching him, and we made it work.
Yeah, no, definitely. We saw you were back at third place. You got the move done on Dustin Hall really quickly. That was a very clean move, and then all of a sudden you were just catching him. You were catching Alex Murray, just a 10th here, 2 tenths there. Every single lap, you're just taking huge chunks out of him comparatively to his lap times. You really got up on him, and then all of a sudden, you guys were side by side there for about 4, 5, 6 laps there toward the end. I do know there was a moment where you both got a little squirrely there, so that must have been a little bit of a checkup, but, there's a little bit of a scary moment there. But, yeah, you were able to get the move done and able to keep the low line and just keep moving on him. So that was a great race by you. Well-deserved win. Honestly, you were kind of having a quiet night there until the end. We didn't really see you up front too much. Tell us about the rest of your race.
I mean, we had really good speed. It took so long for our car to come in. Last year we absolutely dominated this race, and it was long run. So it's kind of my style when it with these full length races is I'll ride, and just take care of it and try to position myself to where I got a shot at it at the end. And every time, like, I mean, long run, I think first stage right there, like we fell all the way back to, I think, 15th and then drove up to 3rd, I think, before the stage. I mean, it was really good long run. And we were chasing Phil instead of waiting for the track to come to us. And we kind of got off a little bit and went back and the car was good again. But, you know, we just kind of laid low, tried to stay out of trouble, got in a little bit of trouble, and something about this place, I got a love-hate relationship with it. I hate it. I hate the track, but I run good every time I come here. So, you know,
Bristol's
I'll
one of those
take it.
places.
Yeah, it is. So, but it worked out. You know, Dustin put a hell of a damn hot rod together for this. I mean, it's all credit goes to him, and also this win goes to the Hall family.
Everything
They-
they're going through, yeah.
Yeah, they lost their grandfather Friday night, and so this is all for them. Everything. I was doing everything I possibly could. I wanted to win this race for him so damn bad, and so once he told me, you know, if one of us is gonna win, I got to let you go. So when he did that, it was you know, bullseye was set, and I was just letting her rip and trying to get it done. So we got it done. That's for them. Corbin, you know, him too, and I mean, it's a the never give up attitude is, you know, that he showed us over, you know, the past year and a half is that's where I go by. That's why I race every single one of these races, man. I'm gonna fight like hell till the end of it, and so this all the Hall family, this is for them, and you know, I'm super pumped we got it done.
Adam, that was a great drive by you. Great teamwork, you know, and you guys really just made it come together towards the end there. Your strategy worked out. Everything really came together for you guys, and I'm glad you could get that win, especially for the Hall family there. So congratulations once again on the win. Thank you for joining us. Is there anybody else that you want to shout out tonight?
Yeah, Team Conti, Filter Time, Apex Designs, Junior Motorsports, WR1, you guys for broadcasting it, D and Kevin for putting on the best damn series on iRacing, in my opinion. I mean, you know, if you were not entertained with that race or that finish, then you are living under a damn rock. Like, you need to go find another hobby or something.
No, that was a great race. The entire race through, man. It was an awesome race. You had everything. You had the green run, the long green run stretches. You had the cautions. Yeah, you literally had everything side by side right there at the end. It was an exciting race, a great race to call, and just want to thank you for being here, and congratulations on your win, Adam. That was a great race.
Thank you, man.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and everybody, that was Adam Benefield, your race winner. Carlos, you still with me?
Oh, shit, my mic was smoking. Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, Carlos. Well, we got through our race here, 500 miles at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's an exciting race. Yeah, did you want to say anything else before we get out of here?
I mean, it's been fun. We don't have too much experience commentating. Eliminator racing just proves to always be scary for a lot of these drivers, and definitely shocking and just fun to watch as a spectator. But besides that, it'll be fun to have Andre back in the booth. I'd love to have you back in your booth again. You're always a fun personality to work with. But other than that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We'll see you all here at Texas next week.
Well, like you said, we'll see you guys next week at Texas. And Andre should be back. I'm sure James will probably be back too. But it was my pleasure being here with you guys tonight, and my pleasure to work with you, Carlos. I appreciate you having me on. Everybody out there, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell icon so you can see get the notifications on when 3Y TV is live. And thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Y'all have a great night, and see you soon.